Setwright's Tavern, Cratloe, County Clare. Setwright's Tavern is an old-style, family-run, traditional pub with lots of character and a warm, friendly atmosphere in the old-style bar and snug area. FDC Group, Michael A. Nagel and Co. are an accounting firm based in County Clare. They go above and beyond to provide clients current and new with a personal service that is tailored to suit them. Whether you are starting a new business or expanding your current one, you can count on FDC Group, Michael A. Nagel and Co. Building or renovating in Clare? Put quality materials from Cullinan's of Ennistymon at the heart of your home. Flare shower doors, Henley stoves, C-deck internal doors and mouldings, Roper roads, batware and furniture. The better builder providers, Cullinans.ie. Telephone 065 707 1034. Air code V95AY10.
very welcome along to Park Finney here in the heart of the Burren. It's Corofin, County Clare for the fourth of this weekend's TUS Senior Football quarter-finals. It is Cratloe, Ennistymon, Derek Lynch and Kieran Madigan with you here for this game. Originally, of course, this weekend we were to be treated to double headers in Park Yesog. However, the weather had other ideas, and I think in hindsight now, a very sensible decision made to split those fixtures given the condition of the pitches and everything. I have to say, here in Corofin it is looking in absolutely resplendent condition. I was told from a man that came here last night to walk it, he had white runners coming and there were still white going home, so that'll tell you just how good things are here. So well done to everybody in the club for the condition that things have turned out in. Right now, Kieran Madigan, we know three of the names going into the pot. That draw will be made here this evening after full time in this game. We have Lissy Casey, Erog and Dura Bearfield. We'll leave off discussion on that one for a while. We'll focus on the game that's here in front of us. But I guess those results have kind of opened it up a little bit, and both Cratloe and Ennistymon will say to each other here, right lads, here's the chance.
Yeah, absolutely. Cratloe and Ennistymon, you would expect it's going to be a really, really tight game. Two fairly evenly matched teams, and
technical issues here, 1 second folks, because Kieran Madigan is on such big money now to go here because we better hear what he has to say. We'll start all that again. So Kieran, as I was mentioning there, the four quarter-finalists, we know three of them already. Cratloe and Ennistymon going into the pot, and 50-50 is a phrase I've heard used here quite a bit this afternoon.
You would think so. Look at Ennistymon, it really upped their game in the last round in that performance against Lissy Casey in that second half when their whole season was on the line, and at that stage they were in relegation trouble, and they turned in a superb second half performance, and we're hoping that they're going to come with that style of play today and take the game to Cratloe, because you always know what you're going to get with Cratloe. Cratloe always come to play good football. They know no other way. That's the Colm Collins way. They like to play front foot attacking football, and good to see Cathal McInerney back there today. You know, one of the best forwards in the county over the last 10 years. So it has the makings of a really, really good tie, and hopefully will be, you know, because the games have been tight in the quarter-final stages, and good football being played, and considering the conditions are so bad, you'd be delighted with the quality of football we've seen. So hopefully we're in for another one here today.
That word tight could also be applied to the venue here. It's a fantastic venue, obviously, but it ain't the wide expanses of Park Yesog. So from that perspective, do we see it maybe being a different game than what was analysed perhaps up until Thursday evening?
You probably do, because with the pace and the running game that Ennistymon are capable of playing, you would have thought that maybe Cusack Park might have suited them better, especially when we saw what they were capable of doing the last day. They've got serious pace with Killian Ryan breaking there from centre back, you know, and the pace he comes at, and throwing Brindy there as well. So it probably would have suited them better. A tighter venue here. Maybe age not on Cratloe's side, but they do have some good young players, all right, but they have an awful lot of, we'll say, experienced players, and maybe a tighter pitch, you know, might suit them a bit better.
As the teams go through their warm-up, let's give you the team news, and we'll begin with the men in the royal blue jerseys from the southeast of the county. That is the team from Cratloe. They have the vastly experienced Porrick Chaplin in goal. Mike Brennan, Kevin Hartnett and Rian McNamara is their full back line. It's in the boys Liam Markham and Mark O'Brien wearing 5, 6 and 7 respectively. Midfield pairing this afternoon of Diarmuid Ryan and Ryan Harkin. It's Jamie Moylan, Sean Collins and Ty Glohan in their half forward line, with an inside line of Podge Collins, Rian Considine and Cathal McInerney. For Ennistymon, Noel Sexton manned the goals. It's Joey Rowine, Darragh Keneally and Sean O'Driscoll in their full back line. Liam Cotter anchors the defence at 6. Kieran McMahon and Brendy Rowine were 5 and 7. Killian Rowine and Josh Vaughan the midfield pairing. Half forward line, Tiernan Hogan, Sean Rowine and Owen Rowine, with an inside line, Garrod Barry, Joshua Geiler, and wearing the number 17 jersey will be Keelan Geiler. There are a lot of scorers, Kieran, that I've just listed in that Ennistymon team.
Yeah, you know, they would have been relying on one or two earlier on in the championship, but they definitely spread the scoring thread around the last day. I think Josh Vaughan coming back into the team was a massive boost to them as well, and they created a lot more chances. Look, Killian the last day was excellent, 7 points from centre back, created a lot more as well. He created a couple of goal openings as well as that, and his free taking probably surprised a lot of people as well, because we don't see him kicking a lot of frees, you know. Brindy normally kicks those, and Brindy chips in with scores as well. But that's one thing. The two Goylers as well are chipping in with scores. They have a lot of scoring threats, and if they do go out to play attacking football this evening, they've certainly got players all over the pitch that can chip in with a few scores.
Walking along the sideline here in Park Finney at the moment is Mr. Corrafin himself. Not quite sure he ever made it onto a calendar, but I'm of course talking about Joe Cahill. Maybe that's a fundraiser if they ever need upgrade works here in Park Finney. Stick a calendar out of Joe Cahill. You'd either sell it or lads would pay you to take it away from you. One of the two, but either way you'd make money. But a fantastic clubman, he's here minding the grounds. To our right hand side, Cratloe going through their warm up. Chris Maguire is our match official, vastly experienced man of course, and plenty helping him on the sidelines as well. Conditions here, Kieran, just trying to get a gauge of the breeze, I guess. There is a kind of a whippy one almost. I'm not quite sure it's overly in favour of any team, but almost going cross-field if anything. But it just seems to be that this side here, if people that are familiar with the grounds, the side at the car park end, the shooting is happening from the left-hand channel, the right-hand channel above, so it must be kind of blowing down towards that corner. Yeah,
it seems to be alright. It seems it suit a right-footed kicker playing in that direction in the first half. And I don't think the wind will have a huge factor, because as you said, it is kind of more a cross-field, so you're not going to have a huge advantage either half with it really. And look at players like Cahill McInerney, I don't think the wind affects them too much anyway.
We'll have to mention it, Kieran, we've had the game already today. A couple of people have come in here to Corrafin, whether they know or not. They were asking me about the match, but
I'd say they know.
Fair idea. Big surprise, obviously, is the way that they have kind of labelled it. I think for anybody watching the game, for 95% of it, it wasn't an overly surprising result. Dura Bearfield doing much better, grinding it out.
Yeah, look, you'd have to say they deserved it, especially on their second half display. Kilmurray played quite well in the first half, but Dura Bearfield obviously learned the lessons of what weren't going right from the first half. They addressed that in the dressing room. They came out. They really came out with a far more aggressive approach in the second half. Nothing out of the way. They hit harder and they fought for every ball. They fought for every break, and they did very well on the Kilmurray break and kick out. And they managed to curb the influence of Dermot Coughlin, who had an excellent first half. He had the freedom of Cusick Park. He was running through the centre at will, and they changed. They put a man mark, Roger O'Connell, on him, and he curbed his influence.
Right now, we're going to pause for a moment's silence here in Park Finney. We will bring you the details of it afterwards, but we'll observe it right now. That moment silence impeccably observed there in memory of the late Anne McCaw, Ní Killeen, and Keith Galvin from Cratloe as well. Anne McCaw, the wife of Christy, of course, stalwart of the Ennistymon GA club. He's their son Chris Dorr as well, one of the Clare GDA staff who has been doing fabulous work in recent times, and of course to their daughter Blonid as well. We send our condolences and to all the Galvin family in Cratloe. Yeshde Garev Anamika. We're almost ready to go here in Park Finney. It looks as if Cratloe are going to be attacking right to left as we look at it. They'll be heading towards the car park goal here, and already positional switches. Colin McInerney wears 14, but he's coming out to the centre forward position. Killian Rowine, his direct opponent. They've shook hands and got those formalities out of the way, so we'll keep an eye on all of that in front of us here. And the near side official is Fergal O'Brien, current Clare Camogie chair. Of course, we spoke to him on Sideline View recently as well. You can have a listen back to that if you want. But right now we've listened to the whistle of Chris Maguire getting this contest underway, and straight away it was Dermot Ryan trying to break that ball down just in the middle of the park. Good work from the Ennistymon men. Killian Ryan trying to drive out with that one. Hasn't moved. Right now it is, though, was Liam Cotter diving down on that ball and decided he'll get things going pretty quickly, and he does. Across here towards Sean Ryan, right hand channel, being met there by Mark O'Brien. Great to see him back. He's had his injury troubles, a highly talented dual player, of course, and he will be back on the fields for the county in 2026. Right now, Josh Vaughan, what a brilliant kick-out target he has been. Great to see him back around that middle third as well. Far side of the ground, Brendan Ryan just loses his footing, but had time and space to pick the ball up. They're recycling it back around once again. Cratloe nice and compact in around their 45. Happy to let them play around, but now the acceleration comes and we know it's there. from Killian Rowan. Back it comes, that's Josh Guyler. His first involvement, tries to clip a neat little ball over the top, does really well. Can they hold on to it? They do. Shawnee Rowan just gets the ball away, berates himself as well as he does get it away, but it's Garrod Barry, the man that takes it up towards the edge of the arc. With him there is Rian McNamara, lays it off inside, goes for the turn. That's good running, strong running from Liam Cotter. Runner off the shoulder is Tiernan Hogan. Ball just got away from him, and the vastly experienced Shawnee Collins goes back to tidy things up. In Du Bois takes in the solo. First attack for Ennistymon breaking down. I think we're going to see two very, very disciplined defences here today.
Yeah, I definitely think so. You can see that Kieran McMahon he's following Cathal McInerney everywhere. That's his job for today, and you can see that obviously there's not going to be any space. Do you see how quick it did Ennistymon funnel back there when that attack broke down? They've got everyone back inside their own 65 and they're set up again, and that's the way it's going to be, I think, with these defences. And
it was brilliant running there from Jamie Moylan to set up this latest Cratloe attack, their first one really of the afternoon, as the ball is in the hands of Ryan Harkin. A good strong character on that middle third. Call for a free there, perhaps a bit of a coming together. Referee says play away, and this man will certainly do that. That is of course Podge Collins. Back to Ryan Harkin once again. Mark O'Brien takes it forward. He's just inside the 45 metre line. The hand pass was just up too high for Sean Collins. He tackles Liam Cotter high around the neck, and off go Ennistymon, and they're very, very capable of breaking with pace on these counter attacks. Shawnee Rowan digs a lovely ball down the line, trying to hold on to that ball. A lovely recycle back again. Great hands from Garrod Barry. Back it comes to Shawnee Rowan. Does a runner through the centre. This one is Joshua Guyler. That's the first score of the afternoon. What a brilliant sweeping counter attack that was from Ennistymon. Impeccable handling throughout. Garrod Barry the initial link when the ball was played up. Fabulous tidy finish from Josh Guyler. Ennistymon lead by a point to no score.
Yeah, and the ball was turned over by Liam Cotter. The hand pass from Mark O'Brien to Sean Collins just a little bit too high, turned him over, and that's the speed of the counter attack of Ennistymon down the other end of the field, and Joshua Guyler on the end of the move.
Pádraig Chaplin's kick out finds touch. Unfortunately though, this is Park Finian, not Thomond Park, so that's going to be giving up possession on the far side of the ground to the men from Ennistymon, and Derek Keneally looks like he's the one that's going to take possession of it right now. The Cratloe bench just to his left hand side, the scoreboard between the two benches here in this North Clare venue. Liam Cotter takes on that ball through the centre. Ennistymon working it through the hands to Keneally once again. Good bright start from them. A real pace to that attack. That might be a marker that they'll try and lay down right throughout this contest. Keelan Guyler now takes it on. His brother opened the scoring. He's trying to set up the latest one, and Chris Maguire has spotted a little bit of putting and dragging inside, and he's right on the scene as the Woltones official, man of course on the national panel now as well. Free in for Ennistymon, and in fairness to Chris, eagle-eyed inside there.
Yeah, look, he spotted it, and his hand was up straight away. And a little bit of indiscipline from Cratloe there. You can't afford to be giving away a soft freeze. It's 30 yards out, and you'd expect Brindy Rowan to be putting this over.
As you can see if you're watching on our Clare GA TV stream, the breeze is very much blowing right to left as he looks at it. That's the way the ball is going as well, and it clips the inside of the post to aid it on its way over. Tidy score from Brindy. We know he's well capable of kicking those. Again, another man that had his injury concerns, so fantastic to see him back in flying form. And Ennistymon has settled well into this game. Kieran, 4 minutes played, they lead 2 points to no score.
Yeah, they're very comfortable on the ball. They've turned over a couple of Cratloe attacks, and they're putting pressure on the Cratloe kick out as well, but Cratloe get this one away.
They certainly do. To Ryan Harkin read that break well, didn't he? Dinks it in towards Podge Collins. He'll try his little bit of trickery, jinking back. Comfortable right and left. This one is off the left, but it's off target as well. It just goes out to the right hand side and wide. Our commentary sponsors this afternoon, Future Proof Energy, so we send greetings to Rob and all the crew. No doubt we'll come across you sometime there, Rob above in Lahinch, when we're waiting for the swimming lessons to happen on Thursday, but we'll have the chats when that certainly occurs, and we thank you for your support this afternoon. We'll have our Patrick Burke Menswear man of the match as well a little bit later on, of course. Kick out now for Noel Sexton, 2 points to no score. Ennistymon in front. Sexton hangs it up high right on towards that halfway line. Dermot Ryan goes up, gets a strong fist to it, breaks it down. Ryan Harkin battling there with Keneally, but it is Ennistymon that do come away with it. Keneally eventually steps back and gets that ball recycled, and now coming forward is the strong running right through the middle. Shawnee Ryan is off the shoulder here for Killian if he wants to go with him. Solo just gets away from him. He does manage to hold it on. Killian Ryan still going. Now stepping out there is Garrod Barry. He's on a very tidy angle. He's trying to use the breeze, and he has done it. That's a very, very good score from Garrod Barry, but that was all about the run of Killian Rowan right through the centre. Used the pace, used the power, and used the noggin as well to just offload it to Barry, who stuck it between the posts.
Yeah, and that's what Killian's going to be trying to do all day, and Cratloe will have seen that from the last game. You would imagine they will have to try and stop that run from Killian, because once he gets on the move like that, he's devastating.
and they really are swallowing up the Cratloe kick out at the moment as well. Another great bit of work outside there by Brendy Rewine, just outside the 65 metre line, and decides to retain possession. So strong start now for Ennistymon. You're picking up the wind, no doubt, on our microphones here. Very little we can do about it. It's not our usual venue, shall we say, but right now it is the usual bit of work there from Killian Rewine. Good stuff from him, the man they affectionately call Murty. Kieran McMahon goes striding up towards that 45 metre line, again gets the call off the shoulder. Brendy just out there to his left, hugging that far touchline. Going with him is Dermot Ryan, just reversing on his tippy toes to try and put him off his stride, but it'll take a little bit more than that. Brendy goes to ground as well to recycle back the possession. Keneally stays up in support. Stepping back out there too is Josh Guyler, and now again it will be the fulcrum that is Killian Rewine. He really is the director of this orchestra, sets the pace and sets the tone and sets the ball and goes and takes it on once again. Killian Rewine driving up towards the 21, pops it off inside. There's a hand on the ball. It's Josh Vaughan. It's in the back of the net. It's a lightning start from Ennistymon to this game. We wondered what performance we would see, Kieran. I think that question inside the first 6 minutes has been emphatically answered. It's the one that has come out to play, but I keep saying it, it's setting the tone, setting the pace. It's Killian Rewine. He set up that goal. Josh Vaughan finished it. Ennistymon 1-3, Cratloe no score.
Yeah, it's been all Ennistymon so far. The way they're attacking and coming through the middle, it's exactly like how they played the last day. And we know that they have this in them, this style of play. They haven't shown it for the last few years, but it's good to see they've come out with an attacking intent today.
Cratloe now trying to respond as the Collins brothers links up. Podge finds Sean. The ball incredibly hangs around the 21, and Noel Sexton has to come out, be really brave, and shaped his body there to take any bit of a dunt he might be getting for his troubles. But that's a real indication of the breeze. Sean Collins put his boot through that ball from just around the arc. It actually hung up and bounced on the 21 metre line. Yeah,
the breeze is actually stronger than I thought it was. He did kick it very high, so I suppose it is going to hold up that bit more. But it definitely dropped 20 yards short, and Noel Sexton was brave coming out to clear it.
Ball again. Cratloe having to make sure they have their three up. We saw a couple of those, particularly yesterday evening in Park Yasog, with Colin McInerney realising he can use that self-correct method, and now they have the three up, and the action continue at the far side of the ground, where Brendy Rewine is the man on the ball once again, gets the call behind him from the bro. Killian hanging around his own 65 metre line. Gerard Barry hangs back around there as well, and this is a very, very positive style of play from an Ennistymon point of view. After we look at the clock that tells us we have coming up on 8 minutes played, they lead by 1-3 to no score. Josh Vaughan with the goal. Right now Shawnee Rewine with the ball, very, very close to the sideline here. Fergal O'Brien manning that. He says it's going to be a line ball for Cratloe, who are really yet to settle into this game. Ennistymon have been excellent, they haven't let them settle, but Cratloe haven't shown any real flash just yet.
No, and they're a bit rash in possession when they get the ball. They're kicking it in for the sake of it. I think they need to try and settle down, maybe string a couple of hand passes together, left and right, just to get a little bit comfortable and settle into the game, because it's all Ennistymon so far.
The collective intakes of breath there for those listening on the radio were that the sideline ball was taken all the way back towards Cratloe's own goal line, and of course Pádraig Chaplin can't touch it, so back went it was Boyce, I think, that had to eventually take it almost off his own line, because Pádraig couldn't do anything to prevent it going in. So just those little nerves settling down at the moment. Cratloe though with the ball, and of course without David Collins as well today. He injured himself the last day. He's usually a main fulcrum in their full back line and a man that drives things forward for them, so they have to contend without him today. Kevin Hartnett is at full back for them. Full forward is Rian Considine. He's the man on the ball now, cutting just inside the arc. Podge again comes out to try and be that link man, just trying to sell the dummies, tries to chip a little ball through. It was maybe just a little bit too clever, just went by Jamie Moylan, and it's picked straight up off the ground. So the referee, no doubt in his mind about that one. Colin McInerney judged the guilty party, and we'll stay with Ennistymon because they go marauding away down the far side of the pitch again. Tiernan Hogan, the man that carries it in front of that Cratloe bench. It's Joey Rewine that will take it on next, lobs it in there in towards Gerard Barry, traps it really well and tries to take on Reid McNamara, trying to burn him on the sideline and trying to burn him on the inside. It's Tiernan Hogan makes the run, the ball swiveled, he did really well to hold on to it. Back to Gerard Barry once again. The goal is at his sights. It has just dropped out to the right hand side and wide, but there's a real slickness about this Ennistymon attack.
Yeah, when Podge tried to play that little dink ball over the top, and when once Ennistymon cut it out, the pace that they attacked, this is the Ennistymon that we've been waiting to see for a few years. We've all known what the ability they they have and the talent they have, and they had been playing a lot slower tempo type of game. I think the penny has dropped after that last game against Lacey Casey, and they've come out today to really up the pace and up the tempo of this game.
And they are really again going after the Cratloe kick out, but this time Sean Collins does pick it up. 3 Ennistymon men converge on him, and because they didn't move back quickly enough for Chris Maguire's liking, he brings it forward. Now, to be fair, I thought they actually had retreated there, but Chris obviously decided it didn't happen quick enough, so it's going to be a free for Cratloe. It's going to be right on the edge of the arc, and it'll be Cathal McInerney country.
Yeah, and I think this will give us a good indication of how strong the breeze is, because under normal circumstances you'd definitely be expecting Cathal McInerney to put this over. It is very central, and he's coming in with his left foot, and the wind is blowing kind of across the field, but it is, I would imagine it may hold up a little bit going by Sean Collins' last shot.
Well, he's looking at somewhere between the car park and the playground, I'd imagine, to try and arc this one with the left boot. Again, we'll have a very, very good eye on it. Cathal McInerney, that little stuttering start that he usually does before these kicks, and indeed he put it too far toward the playground because it stayed out to the left hand side and wide, so that would have been a 2-point opportunity from their perspective to bring this game back, but it stays 1-3 to no score. It is time in front. We've 11 and a half played.
Yeah, and I think Cratloe really need to get a score now to settle, because they're a bit panicky in possession. They're not doing the normal things that they do, working the ball through the hands. They're trying to get quick ball in and get snapshots off, and they just need to settle.
Again, a kick out from Sexton is aimed right out towards that scoreboard and just goes out over the line, and it's Liam Markham that goes to try and take it quickly, since Kevin Hartnett, sprinting back behind his own 45, goes for the 1-2 down the line to Rian Considine, dropping back deep to be that link man again. Just all being confined though to the wings, isn't it? They're happy enough to give up the flanks in this time and let Cratloe try and come down. Once they keep that central channel closed off, they're fairly happy.
Yeah, they are, and you can do that in a tighter pitch like this. You can dictate how wide you can let them play, and yeah, they're very, very happy to let Cratloe have it out in the wings, because they're not going to be able to shoot from out in the wings. They're going to have to work it into a central position to get a shot away, and while they keep them out there, they're no danger. Yeah,
and that is the dilemma right now for Rian Considine as he gives it back to Cathal McInerney on the 45-metre line, but again, it's a long way from there to the goal as the crow flies with the breeze blowing into your face, coming in off this stand side of the pitch as Inda Boyce holds on to it there again. Stepping back was Cathal McInerney, just tips it up to himself, spares the back on that occasion, does Cathal, and Kevin Hartnett now decides he's going to get involved in the hands. The handling just wasn't right, but Podge Collins chips it up nice and fine and tidy. Again though, he's absolutely surrounded by those Ennistymon jerseys. Kieran McMahon goes out to say hello to Kevin Hartnett. He offloads the ball to Cathal McInerney, sells the dummy. No, he doesn't. Someone kept the receipt. They've gone back for the refund. That's a brilliant bit of defending. Savage stuff, it must be said there, from Joey Rewine. Long ball from Joey now, trying to get that Ennistymon line moving, and they move indeed through Joshua Guyler off towards Garrod Barry, turning back. There is an opportunity. Guyler pops it over the top. They'll combine once again, but the Cratloe jersey's back there just to cover. Keelan Guyler has it far side the ground. He gives it back. That's Derek Keneally stepping up, trying to cut inside the D, gets the call behind him. This time it's Joshua Guyler. It just drops short into the hands of Pádraig Chaplin, but they are certainly trying to open the doors here.
Yeah, and they'll be disappointed with that one, Derek, because that should have really been put over the bar by Joshua Guyler, 25 yards out, pretty much in front of the goals. But go back to the tackle from Joey Rowina on Cathal McInerney that started that move. That's one of the best tackles I've seen all weekend in any of the championship games. Cathal McInerney was doing his trademark dummy solo, and he was trying to make the space to get the shot away, and Joey Rowina got a brilliant hand in to turn the ball over.
No score on the board for Cratloe just yet in this game, and we're coming up on playing 14 minutes of the contest. They have been trying, and they might have an opportunity here now through Tig Lohan. Cuts in along the inline. Tig still goes, still holds, pirouettes around, gets the ball to the ground. It's unorthodox, but it has ended up in the net. Chris Maguire is going to go in to check. Did somebody rashly finish it to the net while being in the square? I'm not sure. Tig Lohan looked as if he might have managed it himself and had been left alone. To remind you of that one, was it Nani and Ronaldo a couple of years ago for Portugal? But we'll have to see. Maguire will have a chat now with his officials. It'll be an interesting one.
Yeah, Ryan Harkin definitely put a fist in it to put the ball into the back of the net, and to me he looked like he was standing in the square, so if he actually put the ball over the line, then I'm afraid it could end up in a square ball.
Wait and see, the green flag has been raised. Chris Maguire goes to write it down in his little copybook, so the score stands. That's a big moment. We said it took 14 minutes for them to get on the board, but when they did, it was a goal. Now, whether they had judged that the ball had been actually touched behind the pole when Harkin got his hand on it, not quite sure who we'll credit it just yet. We will credit it to Cratloe though, but it's still Ennistymon leading 1-3 to a goal.
Yeah, and it's definitely what Cratloe needed and what the game probably needed at this stage, you know, because they just hadn't settled at all. And I think that the last minute or two they played a little bit better football. Kevin Hartnett has kind of come up the field and he's been involved in a couple of attacks, and all his experience, you know, he's not going to panic in possession, and he was probably the start of that move. And look at a goal now brings them right back into the game, and they'll be delighted with that playing into that breeze.
In Dubois and Harkin combine on the far side of the ground, so we are exactly midway through the opening half here. Future Proof Energy, our commentary sponsors, as Cratloe go searching for more scores. Lovely layoff from Podge, gives it, and that is Rian Considine tearing down that right hand channel. Steady goes Rian Considine, tries to get the hand pass across. Good defending, but the maestro Podge, what a lovely touch.
Podge is a class act, you know. In the last couple of games he's been looking back to his best. He scored 4 points against Kildysart, you know. I thought he was excellent, but they're getting a bit of joy when they cut in there from the right hand side. In the move before that, Ty Lohan did the same thing, and they're definitely targeting that side at the moment, the right hand side of the pitch, and they created, it was pretty much a carbon copy. The goal chance was on, and it was just a great touch to knock it out for a 45.
45 will be taken by Sean Collins, but it's not within scoring distance at the moment, so he works the 1-2 with Colin McInerney. He goes and takes it on, draws the free inside. A couple of other teams this weekend could have taken note of that as they work the short free and win one a little bit closer to goal, but Collins and McInerney, two of the most experienced.
Yeah, that's just experience, you know. As you said, the 45 wasn't on, it wasn't scoreable into that breeze, so they worked it short, gained another 15 yards, and now it is scoreable, and that's experience and that's know-how and game management.
Free for Colin McInerney right now to get Cratloe really back into this game. Ennistymon, remember, racing into a 1-3 to no score lead. That goal from Josh Fahan, the goal though responded to by the Cratloe men, and right now we descend into silence as we wait for Colin McInerney to float this one goalwards. And that cultured left boot that was almost an annual top scorer award winner here in County Clare puts that ball between the posts. There's just two between them, and they will be quite content with that.
Yeah, I think they will, because they got off to a bad start and they were 6 points down, but it took them a while to grow into the game. But the last 3 or 4 minutes it's looked a bit more like the old Cratloe. They definitely looked nervous to start with, which was a little bit surprising, but maybe the pace Ennistymon came at them might have had a factor in that.
All this being watched by our new senior football manager here in Clare, Paul Madden, just a couple of rows down from us here, taking in all the action, and he is watching right now. Another Cratloe free being brought forward because they didn't retreat on time, the Ennistymon men. So Chris Maguire, in fairness to him, has been uber consistent on this one. If you don't move, he'll bring the free forward. Now it's just outside the arc, and I think they're debating whether or not they'll go for it. They're giving it to Colin McInerney, so let's just see. As he decided he can try float it from here, but it would be an incredible scenario if we draw level off this. And again, just I suppose I keep saying it from a managerial perspective, you'd be scratching your head saying, lads, you know the rule is there, will you just move back?
Yeah, it's very surprising at this stage, you know. All through the early stages of the championship we weren't seeing any problems with discipline. Maybe when the stakes get higher and you get to the quarter-final stages, but I've definitely seen in most of the games over the weekend there's been a couple of discipline breaches which weren't there in the group stages, so it probably is a kind of a nerve, and you know, there's a lot on the line.
Opportunity so for Colin McInerney. He'll certainly have the distance. The accuracy is on the money. That's an orange flag being raised for the Cratloe men, and all of a sudden, from a position where it was Ennistymon 1-3, Cratloe no score, it's co-score.
There's a lot of argument here from the Ennistymon side that they thought he encroached the arc when he kicked the ball, and that it shouldn't have been a 2-pointer, it should only have been a 1-pointer.
It's coming from the stand, so I don't think that's going to be a valid argument for Chris Maguire. He's going to just turn off the watch. He's going to check with Fergal O'Brien, who might have been watching it. Now, there was no shaving foam laid down, I noticed. So the arc is there, though. That's better than any shaving foam, really. So we'll just have, no, it must have been marginal, to be fair about it, but I think that's the call they're about to make. So it'll still be a point. It's just the colour of the flag.
I thought he was inside myself when he actually let fly with the kick.
Yeah, 2 points. It's not been signalled by Chris Maguire. So, in fairness, he did check with the linesman. He did all you had to do in terms of that kind of communication. So 1-3 apiece it is, with 19 and a half minutes played here in Park Fennia. Kick-out battle is brilliant, and it's Killian Ryan that comes away with it. Now he's been fouled, and he looks to go straight away with that solo and go. Tiernan Hogan is off to his left. He has Dermot Ryan for company right now. It's Tiernan that takes it on. Grode Barry linking up there. Brindy takes it on. He takes the shoulder. Great battling with Liam Markham. Brindy does really well to hold on to the possession. Wheels back around to the 45. This one now is really starting to crank into life. There's only one name left to go into the pot for the semi-final draw. And that will be happening, as we say, pretty much straight after the final whistle here. So we'll bring you that as well, as that ball is curled and arced. It's brilliant. And it is a 2-pointer once again. And it's Keelan Guyler, the man that landed it. What a beautiful swing of the ball from right to left over the crossbar, just on the arc of the swing of the arc outside here. Great response. Ennistymon lead 1-5 to 1-3.
Absolutely, and after the little bit of controversy over Cathal McInerney's 2-point, that's how you answer it. You win the kick out, you force an opening, and Keelan Guyler kicking a fantastic 2-pointer.
And you go after the kick out as well, as Killian Rowan has done there, and we burst forward with that solo and goal to Sean Rowan. Off it goes again. Guyler is going to try it once again. This one is inside though, and it's just dropping short as well into the arms of Pádraig Chaplin, but their tails are up, and you have to give them credit. When Ennistymon since a purple patch this afternoon, they're really going after it.
Oh, they are, yeah. And what I like about them is they've kicked 5 different scorers, Derek. You know, they're not totally relying on one man to do all the damage for them. They've got options, and now that they're playing this style of football, any of them can be on the end of it.
The athlete that is Kevin Hartnett striding forward there for Cratloe to try and lift the siege a little bit, and now he goes back to mind the house around that 65 metre line, comes onto the ball once again, taking the 1-2 there with Ryan Harkin, who looked to switch it from left to right, and over here is Mark O'Brien. Ahead of him right now is Mikey Brennan, and beside him is Ryan Harkin. That's where the ball goes as he takes it past that 45 metre line. Killian Rowan there just directing operations. Liam Cotter setting the line as well of where they want to defend on. It's in the boys. Brilliant winner for him against Dura Bearfield the last day in that group stages game. Podge Collins, exceptional that night. He's very, very good here today as well, let me tell you. He pops the ball off outside here towards Colin McInerney. Gets the call from Boyce once again, but this Ennistymon defence is resolute and disciplined, and they are leading 1-5 to 1-3 with 21 and a half minutes gone here in Corofin. That's Rian Considine just trying to go by the 45 metre line again though. The wall is very, very well manned, and he takes back the returning ball to Inda Boyce. He senses an opportunity, but I don't know if that is a kick that he'll want to relive too many times, as he tried the outside the boot curler. It met the instep, it stayed out left and wide. It's still Ennistymon by 2.
Yeah, he just didn't catch it clean in the boys, and to be fair to him, he's well entitled to have a shot. He's kicked points in all their games so far, and it was a good opportunity. A little bit difficult, I suppose, outside of the foot with that breeze, but he was certainly entitled to the shot.
Noel Sexton thought about left, then decides to come right. The ball is going to drop in and around Owen Rowan's general direction. Just breaks behind him, and it's Liam Markham, steady and reliable as ever, as he takes that ball forward up towards Podge Collins, being minded here by Joey Rowan on this near side of the pitch. Cuts inside towards the 45, goes by Sean Rowan, looks up and has a man over in support, and it's none other than Jamie Milan, the big strong man wearing the number 10 jersey, striding up towards that scoring arc. Gets the call outside him from Harkin once again, working it back towards Podge. He's just trying to start to pull the strings here a little bit. 23 minutes on the clock. Ennistymon 1-5, Cratloe 1-3. Sean Collins, the elder brother, decides he's going to take it on to Colin McInerney. Back to Harkin once again. Sean Rowan is just directing the defensive operations right now for the Ennistymon men, pointing left and pointing right. Ryan Harkin sells a beautiful dummy, couldn't get the shot off, instead recycles it back to Podge once again. He tries one. It's a snapshot of the highest order, let me tell you, as it drops inside around, but that is a brilliant bit of defensive work inside by the Ennistymon men, as Sean O'Driscoll got on that ball and now brings it forward. Down the line it goes to Tiernan Hogan. He takes off in the shadow of the scoreboard. Podge is with him, pulls back the arm. Chris Maguire puts up the hand for advantage. Boyce comes in with a very, very good tackle, but it was on an advantage, and Ennistymon are just looking to break with pace every time they get that ball.
They are, and I noticed the body language of some of the Cratloe players when that move went down. You know, they were kind of throwing their hands, and not everyone turned to chase back. You know, it's an energy sapping type of game you have to play when you have to chase back this Ennistymon when they're breaking at pace. And luckily, I suppose the free was given and it slowed the movement down.
Joey Ryan is the man that has it now, just behind his own 45 metre line. Gets the call across here from Liam Cotter, as good a hurler as he is a footballer, and he's very, very good at both, let me tell you. He's on the ball right now, just almost got surprised there by Ty Glohan, who is chasing and harrying hard, in fairness to him, but Joey Ryan has seen quite a few of them off in his day, and he has done it once again on this occasion, getting the ball down to Shawnee as he is held up there by Kevin Hartnett. Looks across the line again. They're just committing numbers to this attack. Josh Fahan, the latest to take it on, recycling it back to Guyler. Josh, that is, to Killian Rowan, just behind his own 45 metre line again, setting the dummy, finding the little bit of space, gets it out out to Owen Rewine. He again transfers it across. Guylers and Rewines aplenty on this Ennistymon football team. Right now it is Josh Guyler that has the ball, trying to wriggle his way through. Wriggle it he does onto the left boot and kicks it between the posts. It's a score that came almost out of nothing. He just saw a little bit of grass that he'd like to go into, sold a little dummy, used his right leg to kick off to his left, and then turned onto the Kitog to stick it over the bar. 1-6-3 Ennistymon lead Cratloe.
Yeah, a fantastic finish from Josh Guyler. He worked very, very hard for it, and he had Diarmuid Ryan for company the whole way. You know, he kept after him, but he managed to shake him off and finish a lovely left-footed kick from 30 yards over the bar.
1-6-1-3, and again Ennistymon have turned over an attempted Cratloe kick out as Garrod Barry is the man that has the ball now on the far side of the ground, being shadowed by two jerseys, so needs a bit of support, and it comes in the form of Keelan Guyler. Once again it's back to Owen Rewine. They're probing left, probing right, and all the time game management, it has to be said, is fantastic so far. 25 minutes played and they're 3 points to the good. Shawnee Rewine into goes Cotter, stepping up to try and help the attack here right now, just around the edge of the old D, we'll call it. Back it comes to Josh Vaughan. That one is high in towards the post, just out to the left hand side and wide. It was well worth the shot, and it's just so positive today from Ennistymon.
Yeah, and it's great to see. You know, this is what we've wanted to see from them, and the kick out was got away quickly there, but the ref has blown it back.
Yeah, it's some bit of a communication from his linesman on the far side of the ground, but he wasn't quite happy to let it go just yet until all that was sorted out, and now he does. Porrick Chaplin threads it through the eye of a needle to Kevin Hartness. He goes striding up, he can solo on the run left and right, and you're not quite sure which one he's using. It's just that kind of a style, and we saw it so many years for Clare, didn't we? Down it comes to Rian Constantine. He's on the 45 metre line, goes by Liam Cotter, and a bit of pace now as he cuts, but he's going to have to turn back onto the right. Cotter knew that as well and defended him really well. Podge is jinking around. Good hand in there from Driscoll. It wasn't enough though. Podge did get the shot away, but the referee is going to come back for a free. I thought, to be fair now to Sean O'Driscoll there, he got in a hand and Podge just got away from him, got the shot off, but we'll come back for the free. Yeah,
it didn't seem a whole lot in it. You know, Podge was free to hit his shot, and obviously the wind just took it away. But that was a nice bit of play there from Cratloe, and a little bit more positive from them, you know, because they kind of down through the years been so used to everything going through Cathal McInerney and all the scores coming from him, and you know he's back in today, but the last two games they hadn't had him, and the other players have stepped up and got the scores, and I think they need to have a little bit more belief and go back to that, and when Cathal is marked as he is well marked today by Kieran McMahon, other players step up and get the scores.
And the next one there coming from Sean Collins, gave it a fine definite kick through the ball into the breeze, and it brings it back now to a 2-point game. Ennistymon 1 goal and 6, Cratloe 1 goal and 4. We haven't seen the result on the day scenario just yet throughout our quarter-final weekend. Could it be that we're going to see it in the last one? We'll just let that one hang in the air as the ball does something similar towards Diarmuid Ryan, but it breaks down behind him, and it's Cratloe who go off on the defensive foot again, because Ennistymon are probing. It's Garrod Barry taking on the ball in this top of the right position, being met there by Rian McNamara, just wheeling him back around. Shawnee Rewine is there stepping back though, and he's going to try it, is Josh Guyler. This would be sensational. It's just out to the right and wide. He's absolutely claiming, and I think Chris Maguire is going to agree, is he? Or is he clearing young lads from behind the goals? It's one of the two. The ball gone to the right and wide, and there is a clitter of young lads there behind the goals, and Chris Maguire is clearing them off left and right. Josh was arguing the toss here with Fergal on that last one. I have to say it was one of those that was very, very high, so by the time it passed the post, we'd kind of almost lost sight of it, but I think it's going to stay to the right and wide. But in fairness, they are not afraid to take on them shots.
No, that's great to see, and that was very, very close. You know, from our vantage point now, you couldn't tell whether it had been over or not, but look at here, they've turned over the Cratloe kick out again.
Yeah, Derek Keneally with a brilliant flying catch through the air, and Brendan Rewine now trying to go through the cover. Good tackle put in there by Mark O'Brien just to stop him in his tracks, and taking it off is the Kerryman, Mike Brennan, far side of the ground for the Cratloe boys, as Liam Markham now steps back in here, and Jamie Moylan goes out to help. 1-2 with Liam, but there's a long way now between him and the goal down here to our left hand side, and the clock is still ticking away. We've 90 seconds plus the additional time to go in this opening half. Ennistymon leading by 1-6 to 1-4, making hard work of getting the ball out of their own half. Rian McNamara decides to aid the effort by driving forward himself. Big hit put in there on Liam Cotter, but a fair one, and the referee says on we go, and Shawnee Collins decides he'll do just that, stepping out to the right. That's Jamie Moylan. Dermot Ryan and around midfield as well, just not really featuring as much as we might have thought at the moment. No doubt that might change. He's just right here now on the 45 metre line. Got a cracking goal at the start of the second half the last day over in Gortine, or over in Clarecastle against the men from Gortine and Dura Bearfield. It's Liam Markham back now to Cathal McInerney, thinking about it, just swivelled. Kieran McMahon put out the hands and decided, chance it if you can. He comes out to try and cover him once again. Cathal McInerney does hang it up high into the air. It's going to drop short though in around the 21. Rian Considine tries to take it on, but again really well covered by the Ennistymon full back line. Back they go, good battle on the ground there. Kieran McMahon going in with Liam Markham, and it was Dermot Ryan rather that has won the free just to the left hand side. And if they can pinch a point here and be facing for the dressing room just a point behind, I think both sides will be scratching their head as to how that has happened.
Yeah, I mean, Cratloe would be absolutely delighted if they were to go in only 1 point down, having played into these conditions. And Ennistymon won't understand how they're only a point ahead, because they've dictated the play, they've created loads of chances, they've played the better football throughout, really. And yes, you know, it's 1-6 to 1-4 before we hit this free.
And it's Sean Collins that's going to take it to the left hand side of the post. Now it is a tricky enough angle because he's only just outside the 21 metre line, but he makes very, very light of it indeed with Shawnee Collins, and that has gone over the bar once again for Cratloe's 5th point of the afternoon. And there is now, as we say, just one between them. 1-6 Ennistymon, 1-5 Cratloe, 32 seconds of additional time played, so we might have time for maybe just one more play before Chris Maguire lets off that whistle on his ring finger once again. Just standing now between the 45 and 65 metre lines. Noel Sexton, Coolborio, Ennistymon. He won't, he'll send us all towards the dressing room, and as he does, it's Ennistymon leading 1-6 to 1-5. Very strange game to kind of analyse, Kieran, in that Ennistymon kind of hit 2-1-3 bursts, if that made sense. When they went 1-3 to no score up, Cratloe go and level it, Ennistymon go again with a 3-point burst, Cratloe come back and level it. It has swung every way.
Yeah, it has, and Cratloe will be the happier team going into the dressing room, because they're going to have the conditions in their favour in the second half, and they're only a point down, having probably been disappointed with how they've played overall. And yet Ennistymon can't be too disappointed with how they've played, but they just have left a lot of scores out there. Funny thing about the game today is both teams are struggling under their own kickouts. Cratloe have lost 5 of 9 of their own kickouts, and Ennistymon have lost 4 of 7 of theirs. So, you know, the midfield battle is, and Joshua Vaughan now and Dermot Ryan are having a serious battle. There's an awful lot of breaking ball, but yeah, it's very, very hard at the moment to win your own kickout.
The underage stars are about to take their time in the limelight. I won't say sunshine because there's no sign of that around here today, but they'll certainly have their crack here for the next couple of minutes as the ball is thrown in on that one. We'll take a very quick break here as well. We might even join him for a little bit of a kick around. Brian McLaughlin will keep you entertained back at base, but second half commentary to come.
Set Right's Tavern, Cratloe, County Clare. Set Right's Tavern is an old-style, family-run, traditional pub with lots of character and a warm, friendly atmosphere in the old-style bar and snug area. FDC Group, Michael A. Nagel and Co. are an accounting firm based in County Clare. They go above and beyond to provide clients current and new with a personal service that is tailored to suit them. Whether you are starting a new business or expanding your current one, you can count on FDC Group, Michael A. Nagel and Co. Building or renovating in Clare? Put quality materials from Cullinans of Ennistymon at the heart of your home. Flare shower doors, Henley stoves, C-deck internal doors and mouldings, Roper Roads, batware and furniture. The better builder providers, Cullinans.ie. Telephone 065 707 1034. Air code V95AY10.
GA TV stream. The breeze is very much blowing right to left as he looks at it. That's the way the ball is going as well, and it clips the inside of the pole.
Building or renovating in Clare? Put quality materials from Cullinans of Ennistymon at the heart of your home. Flare shower doors, Henley stoves, C-deck internal doors and mouldings, Roper roads, batware and furniture. The better builder providers, Cullinans.ie. Telephone 065 707 1034. Air code V95AY10.
to Corofin, where you could be forgiven that the second half of the game has started. It hasn't, but there is quite an entertaining underage game going on here at the moment between Ennistymon and Cratloe. The crowd here in the stand are getting right into it, so much so that Chris Maguire has actually blown his whistle to tell the teams come back out, but I don't think Kieran anybody wants them to. This is a right little cracker we're watching.
No, definitely, we need to let this game finish. It's a great game.
We just saw a couple of lovely scores, but in particular here, I know the senior lads are coming back out to ruin the fun. The kids have to make way. What a game that was to watch. But there was one brilliant score here coming down the stand side. Jermaine Salt, the own Mulligan dummy, we'll call it, where he looked to his left, feigned the hand pass, Salt the dummy, bounced the ball and clipped it over the bar. It was a gorgeous score.
It was, and you can tell he watched the first half because he had the wind judged to perfection there. It was a really lovely score.
Well, they're shaking hands here, so well done to them for providing such entertainment. And indeed, that is the PRO of Clare GA down there, Aaron Carroll, involved with the Cratloe lads as well. Of course, we will be having the draw for the semi-finals of the TUS Clare Senior Football Championship live on Clare GA TV after this game concludes. And to be perfectly honest, I'll be putting one of them two teams into it now, so they wouldn't do too bad. Second half almost ready to go here. It is really on a knife edge, 1-6 to 1-5. We were just saying there at half time, Kieran, we mentioned the fact that no extra time in any game, actually, intermediate or senior, this weekend. Could we about to be breaking that duck?
Yeah, it looks like the one most likely. Obviously the others are over, so they can't, but it looked, even before the game was played, you would have always thought this was going to be a tight battle, and so far only 1 point in it, but Cratloe have the conditions in their favour now in the second half, and it's just going to be interesting to see how Ennistymon go about it. Are they going to keep playing that pacey attacking football that they showed in the first half?
And it is that swirling breeze that greets the second half here in Corofin as referee Chris Maguire gets the action back underway, and immediately it is the men from Ennistymon trying to force the issue, as they have been right throughout the contest so far. Nice little link play here. Ball is ended up in the hands of Tiernan Hogan. Across it comes towards Joshua Guyler, gives it back to Keelan with the outside of the boot, and at the last moment the ball just tailed out to the right hand side and wide. The breeze doing its job there. It looked on target when it left his boot. It was anything but by the time it reached the end line. Wide ball.
Yeah, if you're going to have a shot at this side, and you're going to have to aim at the left hand post as we're looking at it, because there's a big 20-yard swing in every shot at least.
So Porrick Chaplin asks permission for Chris Maguire to allow him to relocate the tee and the ball. Indeed, the breeze just bringing it off in its own direction there for his restart. He'll kick it left-footed as he does, and goes short out towards into Boyce, but out over the sideline, and that was just a little bit of rush of blood to the head. A smart move that maybe just didn't materialise. Ball in towards Garrod Barry. Garrod turns, he has options, steaming to the middle. Brindy Rewine goal! That is how you punish errors. That is how you be clinical. That is how you finish to the back of the net. Brindy Rewine exceptional. What a ball it was from Sean Rewine to find Garrod Barry. But what a brilliant support run in off the angle. Handling exceptional. Finish brilliant. 2-6 Ennistymon, 1-5 Cratloe.
Yeah, that's exactly what Ennistymon needed, facing into those elements. And I feel a little bit sorry for Porrick Chaplin. It was a huge punishment just for the ball going out over the sideline from his kick out.
And Garrod Barry just slipping there as he came out to win that ball, so it has allowed Cratloe and Rian McNamara to get the ball, but he's just swallowed up on the far side of the pitch. Referee says illegally so, and the ball again given away, and it is Ennistymon really trying to hammer the hammer, but Kevin Hartnett comes out and he just steps in. Nervy times for Cratloe here, Kieran, with 2 minutes gone in the second half.
Yeah, and you can see that Ennistymon have decided, we're not going to sit back, we're going to come out and attack like we had done in the first half, and they've had all the play in the first couple of minutes of the second half.
Free in for Cratloe here though, well won by Ty Glohan. Ball in to find him from Kevin Hartnett, and a thumbs up out here to the sideline by Josh Guyler. I think he's being taunted about the one that just went wide. Someone's after throwing a bit of grass up in front of him and showing him just how strong that breeze is blowing. It's going to blow now in the favour of Cathal McInerney away to our right hand side. So Ennistymon leading 2-6 to 1-5. Brilliant finish from Brindy Rewine to the top corner of the net, and now a chance for Cathal McInerney with that trusted left boot, the Limerick based teacher of course, fresh back off the summer holidays, fresh back off that injury layoff as well, looking to get on the board here, taking his time with it. This will bring it back to 3. It would be a nice response if he can land it. And he didn't after all that. And is he just feeling the back of the hamstring after as well? That's still strapped up actually, that right leg. So I wonder is he carrying it a little bit. But big moments, Kieran. The goal for Ennistymon and that missed free for Cratloe.
Yeah, that's massive, and you certainly wouldn't have expected Cahill to drop it short, if anything. He seemed very disappointed and he seemed to limp away from it all right. But and it was a 2-point effort. It would have brought him right back into, but now we have Podge chasing back Derek Keneally.
Tearing after Derek Keneally and also trying to get the ball laid off is to Joshua Guyler. Ball goes right and wide. But what was interesting there, and it just shows the game intelligence of Podge Collins, as he was tearing full flight to try and get the ball there off Derek Keneally, he was able to tell Kevin Hartnett, stay where you are, don't follow me, because then we won't have our 3 up. So even in the course of the sprint, the brain was still working overtime.
Yeah, that's the experience he has, and you need leaders like that on your team, and you have to be talking to each other all the time. But the Cratloe kick out is under pressure at the moment. Pádraig Chaplin, his natural instinct is to kick it to his left, and the wind is out that way, so he's going to be run the risk of putting him out over the sideline. So he's trying to put a couple down the middle. And
again, the pressure has told, but Inda Boyce did really well. Jumped in to win that ball, used all his experience. He was fairly sure that the free would be coming. Gets the hand pass away. Ryan Harkin chips it forward to Shawnee Collins, gives it back to Harkin once again. Tries to play it into space over towards Lohan. Does well to trap that ball. Can he get the jink? He does. His father and uncle weren't bad footballers either in their day. Podge Collins has it back around. His dad, the manager, former Clare boss, and of course a championship winner with their native Clonmehil back in 1980 as well. Podge has the medals in the back pocket with Cratloe, both hurling and football. Has he got another score on the board? This time the answer is no, as the ball stays out to the left hand side and wide. And I don't know what it is, Kieran. You referenced body language there a while ago in the first half, but I'm just watching when things aren't going right for Cratloe, it has a collective kind of impact.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, a few of the heads are going down, which I'm very, very surprised at. You talked about Podge there, talking to Kevin Hartnett there a few minutes ago. While he was making that run, he was shouting at Mark O'Brien to make a run to the right, to create the space for him. He wasn't looking to give him the ball, but he needed someone to make space for him. And you need the Cratloe players to be more tuned in and known to do that off their own instinct.
Killian Ryan with another long searching ball looking for Garrod Barry, but Reid McNamara should have this one in some bit of control over in that far corner. It is quite a lonesome spot, and Garrod Barry has stolen it back. He's in along the end line. Is Garrod getting held up there by Liam Markham, but he has one. He's free. You can have all the talented forwards, the classy scorers that you want, but if they don't have the work rate that Garrod Barry has demonstrated there, well then it's very, very hard to coach it into him. But that was fantastic work. He chased down a lost cause. Corner forwards don't usually tend to chase the corner back in that area. He did it, and when he's free.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. You need players working hard now. There's no place for a corner forward now standing up waiting for a handy ball. Those days are gone. You have to work very, very hard. And I'm looking at the Cratloe down at the other end. They need to do something to get the likes of Tadhg Lohan, you referenced him there a few minutes ago, into the game more, because he's got loads of pace, and a lot of their players, the game is bypassing them, and they seem to be looking for Cahill McInerney to do it for them.
And Brindy Ryan isn't looking for anybody to do it for him, as he puts another between the posts. 2-7 in Ennistymon, that's 13, 1-5 for Cratloe, that's 8, there's 5 between them here in Currafin. 6 minutes gone, second half. Future Proof Energy, our commentary sponsors, Lissy Casey, Ogan, Dura Bearfield into the hat, and right now Ennistymon are the ones that are in pole position, but there's a lot of football to be played before that last spot is finalised. Chris McGuire spots the ball played on the ground. It's going to be a free for Ennistymon, and it's just now everything's starting to go their way.
Yeah, it is. They're well on top at the moment, but they started the first half this way as well, and Cratloe managed to work their way back into it. But at the moment, they're the ones playing with pace and energy, and Cratloe are starting to look a little tired, if I'm honest.
Sean Irwine is still full of running on that far side of the ground, and of course they have plenty pace on the bench as well, let me tell you. A couple of those lads that were involved in an intermediate game that are now available to them after securing their status, they could be seen just yet. Joshua Guyler is seen right now on the edge of the D, and again just trying out the outside of the boot. There's a bit of scrubby rain starting to come in here. Mullockmore is away to our left hand side. I'd say the rain is up around that direction at the moment, up towards Kilnaboy. It'll be on its way down to us very shortly, and as it does, 2-7 to 1-5, Ennistymon very comfortably in front, and there it is on cue.
It's lovely. You'd make a great weatherman, Derek. That's 3 wides for Ennistymon now at the start of the second half, but they are creating a lot of chances. But they did this in the first half as well. They had a few wides, and Cratloe were able to get back into the game. So they need to maybe work into more scoreable positions. They're taking on shots from maybe too far out, especially into that wind.
Right now trying to drive into that breeze is Owen Rowan. Looks back and finds Killian just shy of the 45 metre line. The rain is going to make the handling that little bit more difficult. One or two players outside there with no gloves that might be looking to the bench very shortly to locate their pair that they left with somebody minding them perhaps, as Brindy Rowan very much has them on his hands at the moment. Spreads the ball wide. Josh Guyler again drifting off into space over there. Liam Markham is the man that goes with him. Wheels back around. Trying to take it on there is Keelan Guyler. Now Ennistymon start to control, start to just use Brindy Rowan as that link man from going from right to left. Plays the ball in front of Dara Keneally there. Dara does well to win it off a messy enough kind of a ground as Garrod Barry comes in to have that shot. It's going to stay out to the left hand side and wide, but what would concern me there, Kieran, from a Cratloe perspective is just how easy and non-contact that last attack was.
Yeah, they're standing off and Ennistymon are able to work the ball into 30 yards out to get their shots off under no pressure. You know, they're shadowing them, but they're not getting any hands in, they're not getting making any contact, and you know, Colin Collins definitely won't be happy with that, and you would imagine there would be a message going in to up the tempo a little bit.
And also, as you mentioned, like their kick out has completely malfunctioned.
Yeah, it has, and that's one thing with Pádraig Chaplin. He is a left-footed goalkeeper, but he opens up his body when he's kicking out the ball, and he wants to kick 99% of them out to the left-hand side, and only if he has to will he put one down the middle. But you very, very rarely ever see him hit one to the right-hand side.
Yep, well, right now I think it is time to have that clocked because they are absolutely stacking that far side of the pitch on them, and this time though Cratloe have managed to turn it over and they're on the attack through Mark O'Brien being held up there by Killian Rowan. Did well to get away from him. Kevin Hartnett now has decided to go up and play centre forward, plays the ball inside looking for it there once again. It's Harkin holding on to it, sells the dummy left, goes right, and does indeed pinch a nice tidy point, and one that Cratloe needed, but what they don't need right now is the man they call Fizzy Pop. Kevin Hartnett just holding his left shoulder there as he jogs back towards the halfway line. He was the creator of that last attack, and whatever hope they have of turning this one around, they need him on the pitch.
Yeah, he's the leader of the team. He's the one that's decided, you know, this isn't going right for us. He's going to come up and join in the attack and bring others into the play. He's having a very good game, and he's a very hard man to stop when he's on the ball. You know, as you said, referenced earlier, he's a very unusual style of solo on the ball, but it's very, very hard to take it off him.
Oh, it certainly is hard to get it off this fella usually as well. Podge Collins goes off getting wrapped up there by Liam Cotter. Referee says on you go. He'll stay going with the solo and go. The Dodger going on to his left, plays it off outside to Colin McInerney. Into the corner it goes. Dermot Ryan is there, back to McInerney. Very, very tidy angle, puts the ball across. It just dies a death as it bounces into the hands there of Shawnee O'Driscoll. Worked around from Josh Vaughan, holding on to that ball again in that Ennistymon defence and over carrying the ball. Good effort, great work, great from a Cratloe perspective. That's what they need. Just up the intensity a little bit now, because look at their championship season is on the line.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what we've been saying. They had been a bit standoffish, but now in the last minute or two they're starting to hunt in packs, and they really closed down the Ennistymon defence coming out with the ball there and turned it over and won a free, and a very scoreable free for Sean Collins as well.
He's just to the left hand side of the goal. Chris Maguire indeed does have the Gillette foam or Nivea or whichever brand he is using. Let's not promote one over the other, but you could certainly see it flying. I'm not quite sure how good it is on a wet ground, to be honest with you, but he's still using it anyway. Sean Collins with the free. This will cut it back to 3 if he can manage it. And again, I mean, we've said this a couple of times during periods where Ennistymon look to have taken the game by the scruff of the neck. Cratloe just find ways to stay in it.
They do, but what Ennistymon did in that period they were on top, they also kicked 4 wides. You know, and that's very, very costly, because they had that period of dominance and they could have maybe put Cratloe out of sight, but they didn't. They left it within 4 points, and now Cratloe have come down the field, 2 attacks, 2 points, right back in the game, only 1 score in it.
Noel Sexton with the kick out. The ball is hanging right on the halfway line. Up they go. Tiernan Hogan, the man inside underneath it. Referee says there was a foul, so off he goes. Takes his solo and goal. Dermot Ryan with him. That's Shawnee Irwine trying to play it into the corner. Garrod Barry has made a brilliant run over into space. Again, they'll get the runner steaming through the middle. Just didn't give it to Sean Irwine there. Maybe he'll give it to Josh Vaughan. No, he gives it to Brindy Irwine. Works a nice little 1-2. Guyler is there just behind him. He'll try one from distance. Keelan Guyler, that is. But, the Guylers between them have tried a couple like that, and they can be costly kicks at a time when you should be managing the game.
Yeah, I think the Ennistymon management will be furious with that, taking on those kind of shots into that breeze. The 2-pointers aren't on, because as soon as you put it up in the air, the wind takes it. You have to work those. When you're playing up to this side of the field, to the car park end as we call it, you're not going to be shooting from 50 yards to kick 2-pointers. You have to work it into 30 yards and try and get your scores.
Liam Cotter, that's an exceptional catch from that kick out, and he has the wherewithal then to release. Brindy Irwine just behind him. Back now to Keelan Guyler. He gives it out to the brother. Here's Josh. He's thinking about it from the edge of the arc, and again You can sense the frustration. We're here right in the stand, right in the middle of the supporters. You're getting the live feedback. You don't need to wait for tonight to get that. And there is a bit of frustration growing here with just those last couple of efforts.
Well, there's 13 minutes gone in the second half and they've had 6 wides and 6 poor wides. You know, if you're 25 yards out and you put one wide, I can understand that, but some of the shots they're taking on are just crazy, and they need to get a message in from the management to settle things down. It's a little bit panicky for me, and they need to work the ball because they're in control of it, but they're just taking on crazy shots.
And Cratloe have retained possession from their own kick out. They took a quick free then, which Chris Maguire said, lads, just settle on now a minute. And I think they'll be glad enough because the ball had skirted way up into that top left-hand corner. So with 14 minutes gone, second half, Ennistymon leading Cratloe 2-7 to 1-7. Future-Proof Energy, our commentary sponsors, and we will of course have our Patrick Burke-Bensware man of the match selection to come as we watch Inda Boyce with the ball, trying to dink it into space. Oh, that's Jamie Moylan trying to front up, trying to burst through. Noel Sexton, what a save! Brilliant save from the Ennistymon keeper, but we're going to come back for a free. There was a foul on Jamie Moylan. Now, he was very, very close to the square when he won that ball, but it will just be a free in. Credit Noel Sexton. I know it's at your near post. Oh, they take the free quickly. Didn't spot that one, and it's been blocked away again. Coming out with it there is Joey Ryan. He's been fouled. That's a little bit panicky as well. That's
2 fantastic saves from Noel Sexton. They took the free quick. Carl McInerney got the shot off, and Noel Sexton saved it again. But look, they put the ball into Jamie Moylan, one of the only balls that's come his way today. You know, he's been starved of possession, turned, had a great opportunity, good save, but they had another opportunity for a goal, but they're coming out now, having got nothing out of the attack, having had 2 goal chances.
Kevin Hartnett is after barking at somebody up the pitch there, and I would not like to be the person that got it off him. Whatever he was saying, it was to one of his own now, let me tell you, just in case at all. But the message was to up the work rate, but it was cased in different settings, shall I say, from Kev. But he is that leader. You can see him there again, just barking up the field, and Owen Ryan trying to respond in kind here for an assignment. That's what you want to see, isn't it? Leaders coming to the fore, lads trying to drive things on.
Absolutely. Every team needs leaders like that, and if the work rate isn't there, you need to let them know it's not there, because you can't have players standing up and not putting in the same effort that you're putting in, because I can guarantee you there's no one putting in a harder shift than Kevin Hartnett today.
Long ball down towards Liam Markham. Cratloe will try to finish strong on this. We're entering the final quarter of the contest. 2-7 to 1-7. It's Ennistymon leading. They're on the brink of being that 4th team into the draw for the TUS Clare Senior Football semi-finals, which will be taking place in roughly half an hour or thereabouts. Right now, Podge Collins with the ball. Back it goes towards Inda Boyce. He's just beyond his own beyond the 65 and 45 metre line. Again, looks to go long. Looks for a floater into Jamie Moylan. He's got it, and he's put it wide. Oh, the setup was perfect, but again there's a free. Chris Maguire has spotted that there was a little pull back inside. We're going to come back for a free, but they've tried that. We'll call it maybe the Niall Quinn approach. Just put it into the big man. He's won both of them. Just couldn't wrap his foot around that one. We will come back for the free, but I think there's warning shots being fired here.
Absolutely, and look when they did that against Kildysart. It won the game for him. You know, they went long and hit Jamie Moylan. He's a big man, and he's a great man to win the ball in the air. And that was another goal opportunity for Cratloe. They've created 3 or 4. Ennistymon defended him very, very well in the last few minutes, but if they keep going like this, you can imagine that they're surely going to get a goal.
Yeah, right now there's 2 points between the sides as the sun begins to shine on Park Fine. We've had the 4 seasons here, and I'm not talking about the hotel. Ennistymon 2-7, Cratloe 1 goal and 8, 13 against 11, as I think benches are going to come into play. There's a sudden hush after the sending over the place anyway, as everyone tries to figure out what's going on. A couple of subs being readied over there. See Fergal O'Brien just on the mic to Chris Maguire, but we'll let the play go on for the moment as the ball is kicked out there by Noel Sexton for Ennistymon. Game right in the melting pot. What a fantastic take that was by Ruane, and the referee says back you go, Owen, and he will. He gives it back towards Brendy. Across comes Podge to try and cut down the angle, and it is Joey Ruane that goes off down that far side of the ground. Liam Cotter holding on to the ball again, just working it through the hands. Josh Fahan over there as well, trying to direct operations. Owen Ruane is here on this near side of the pitch. Josh keeps going towards the other Joshua Geiler. He's just beyond the 65 metre line right now again. Ennistymon looking and probing and trying to find those spaces where they can hurt, and it's Owen Ruane. Gives it back towards Killian. He's thinking about a big one. He was just setting the dummy, maybe making the space for Joshua. Back to Josh Fahan it is once again. He looks around. There's Joshua Geiler. Now it's just becoming a small bit standing pace as Cratloe start to push out, but there will be space inside, no doubt. As we watch again, it's Keelan Geiler Mike Brennan with him. The two number 17s meet here in the middle of the park as Brindy Irwine now, a lovely, clever, perceptive little ball over towards Joshua Guyler, looking up on the 45-metre line, but the hand pass was anything but hectic, and it was well read back there by Mark O'Brien. He cuts out the play. Cratloe will have the turnover, and they are going to get chances.
They are, and with their three inside, they pull two of them outside to leave Jamie Moylan inside on the edge of the square with Dara Keneally.
Would have been a costly turnover. Eventually it is. It's picked up there by Keelan Guyler, and again Ennistymon have been punishing these errors right throughout the game, but just right now Cratloe look to have got enough bodies back in around that 45-metre line just to stop that immediate threat from coming, as we watch Liam Cotter play the ball across towards Josh Vaughan. 18 minutes gone here, second half, 2-7-1-8, as we watch Killian Irwine with a big one from distance, but the breeze is really, really telling down at that bottom goal as the ball goes to the left and right.
Yeah, another wide for Ennistymon. They're really leaving Cratloe in the game. 2 points in it. For all the possession they've had, they're going to be very, very disappointed and frustrated with the shooting they've had. You know, Cratloe are making the most of any opportunities they get. When they go down the field, they'll get a shot off, or they'll work a free or something like that. They haven't created a third of the chances that Ennistymon have, but yet they're only 2 points behind.
Pádraig Chaplin for once does kick across his body, but he gives plenty work for Mike Brennan to do to get that ball before the sideline swallowed it up. Kevin Hartnett takes it on again, jumping mid-air, soloing mid-air as he just tries to find the space by which they can relieve the pressure on this attack. Pádraig Chaplin, no good to him, of course. Goalkeepers can't touch it now in their own half under these new FRC rules, but Liam Markham certainly can, and so too can Mark O'Brien as he goes off far side the pitch there with Tiernan Hogan. Ball goes to the ground. Cratloe battling away for it there. A loose enough challenge put in. That wouldn't be out of place now under Frankie Coots watching the soccer world. Fado. It will be a free for Cratloe. And you just get the feeling if Ennistymon get a chance to put this game to bed, it will be done. But other than that, Kieran, we're going right down the wire here.
Yeah, it looks like it, unless Ennistymon can get a goal, because their shooting for points is definitely wayward in the second half. But Cratloe, they're staying in the game. You can see them working opportunities, and you can see them maybe engineering a couple of frees to keep the scoreboard ticking over. And they're definitely going to try that route one to Jamie Moylan every now and again as well.
Podge with the head on a swivel there, wasn't he, as he was going into that corner looking around to make sure Rian Constantine was there to recycle the ball to Kevin Hartnett. Has come up. He has decided he's going to be spreading the ball from right to left. That's Enda Boyce. He knows how to pick off a score. Enda Boyce goes for the point, and it goes across the goal, and it goes to the right hand side and wide. So 2-7-1-8. There's still two between them. We are just now inside the final 2 minutes.
Yeah, and I suppose that's only two wides for Cratloe in the second half, but it just shows that they haven't created anything near the amount of opportunities that Ennistymon have. Look, kickouts are vital, and as we said, it's very hard to win your own kickout today because it's easier to break the ball back the way it's coming from, and it's just been turned over again.
Yeah, Ryan Harkin did really well to win that ball. Gives it down towards Rian Constantine. Storms off the shoulder once again. Harkin going through. Podge just ahead of him, and it was just a complete communications systems failure. I think Podge was nearly in his way. Harkin was wondering what to do with it, and betwixt and between, the ball just dribbled out over the end line on one of the most promising attacks of the day.
Yeah, I think what Podge was doing there was making a dummy run to create the space, and he never expected to get the pass, and when the pass came, he couldn't set his feet to turn and get it, and that's a pity because that was an opportunity that Harkin should have probably put over the bar.
1-8 to 2-7, that's how it stands. Ennistymon still leading by 2 as Kieran McMahon has the ball now on his own 45-metre line. Talented greyhound trainer, this man, of course, but why wouldn't he be, given the stock he comes from, as Liam Cotter carries the ball down towards Josh Vaughan once again. It's Ennistymon looking and probing. You get the feeling they're just 2-3 scores max away from sealing this one, but as long as you leave Cratloe within scoring distance, there is always that danger. That ball has way too much on it. Over towards Owen Ryan here on this near side of the pitch in Currafin, right out by the stand side. It's an incredible venue in terms of being an intimate one, that's for sure. We're almost on the pitch with the lads here right now as Enda Boyce just goes past the halfway line, looks to go long and direct towards Colin McInerney. Oh, he took it on the spin. He landed facing the goal. He's getting wrapped up again though. He has the advantage. Here's Diarmuid Ryan. Goal! That's no surprise. We told you it had been coming. What a brilliant move from Cratloe. Cathal McInerney, though, Kieran, the way he actually turned his body before he caught that ball to be facing for the goal and into Diarmuid Ryan. He got the goal the last day at the start of the second half against Dura Bearfield. He's got it again here this afternoon. Cratloe 2-8, Ennistymon 2-7. Hold your thought, because it's Cillian Rowan. He's trying to respond straight away. Cillian Rowan bearing down on goal. Cillian taking to ground, free in. When you need leaders, when you need drive, when you need determination, Cillian Rowan is right there. That has been a breathtaking 90 seconds.
That's unbelievable, Derek. It all came from an Ennistymon ball, putting the ball out over the sideline. In the boys took the ball quick, as you said, into Cathal McInerney. Absolute class what he did, the way he turned and created the opening there. And Diarmuid Ryan, who's had a quiet game by his own standards, went through and buried it in the top corner. Absolutely fantastic goal. But to turn around, win the kick out, and Cillian Ryan drive down the middle as he has done in all the games throughout the championship. He's a fantastic leader, and he bore down a goal, and he was actually thinking of a goal himself, but got pulled down for the point. And look at 2-8 to 2-7, very scoreable free here for Brendy, and we could be level going into the last couple of minutes.
I'm not going to say I told you so, but one of them had to go to extra time. This could be it. Brendy Rowan with the free. 7 minutes to play as he does level the sides up at 2-8 apiece here in Park Finney. The draw for the semi-final might have to wait another little while as Pádraig Chapman comes out to put the tee down on the 21 metre line. What a brilliant contest this has turned out to be. And do you know what, Kieran? The atmosphere we have here in the stand, if this game was in the park to be lost, fantastic decision. I think one they might revisit going forward.
Yeah, I think so. And you know what? I don't think any of the games should be in the park until the semi-final. There's great venues all around Clare, regardless of the weather conditions. And you couldn't get better an atmosphere than what we have here today.
Diarmuid Ryan with a brilliant take from the kick out to Sean Collins, lays it inside Cathal McInerney. He's coming on to the breaking ball. Podge is off the shoulder. Jamie Moylan's through the middle. Podge Collins kicks the ball wide. What? They're not sure. He's coming back for a free. It did go wide. Well, that's a strange one now. The umpire on the left waved it wide. Your man on the right went for the white flag, and Chris Maguire is giving a point, is he?
Yeah, it looks like it. I thought he was pulling it back for a free, but it actually looks like Chris Maguire was the one that signalled it was a point.
They want to put up the flag then, just to avoid the confusion here.
He did put up the white flag, all right, yeah, he did.
2-9 to 2-8, right, okay. Confusion avoided. It's Cratloe back in front, and it's Podge, the man that got it. Noel Sexton with the free. He comes to the stand side of the pitch. They're going right inside underneath. A great breaking play there from Dara Keneally to win that ball across towards Cillian Rowan. Amazing that neither team has really gone to the bench in this game just yet either. We're coming up on 25 minutes gone second half. Ball across towards Liam Cotter. He's going to break past the 65 metre line to Sean Rowan. It's right in the melting pot. It's brilliant. The TUS Clare Senior Football Championship quarter final. Across it goes. That is a run being made there by Cillian Rowan. Took the ball from his younger brother Brindy. Treads into the cousin. That's Shawnee Rowan off balance as he kicked that one, and as a result the ball is off target as well. It's out in the car park. It's gone right and wide, and now they are going to the bench. That's Conal O'Hanlon, if I'm not mistaken, going to come in on that far side of the ground, and the number 10 is up, I think. Jamie Moylan coming off, who was carrying an injury. We can see actually there his right calf very, very heavily strapped, so like for like change, as we also see Cratloe going to the bench again with number 20. Oh no, they're changing that around, are they? Yeah, 26-18. So yeah, they're leaving on Jamie. Actually, they've had a change of heart there. So coming off is going to be Ryan Harkin, and coming on will be Conal O'Hanlon, a man that knows how to get scores too.
Yeah, and he's played a wing forward role for many years for them, and always chips in with a point or two. And look at the last 5 or 6 minutes, experience is going to be vital.
Not a call as to whether that ball had cleared the arc from the kick out before Kevin Hartnett got it, but he was doing what you tell every young lad to do, play the whistle. So he eventually has got the ball clear to the far side of the ground where Tadhg Lohan takes off. Down he goes towards Mark O'Brien, gathers the ball behind him into Sean Collins. Bit of space in that top of the left position. He'll try and wheel back. He'll find the brother Podge, got one already, cutting in along the inline. Podge just trying to wheel off the challenge. He gets the shot away, well blocked. Brendy Rowan was standing between him and the goal, and he's going to bring it away right now. We look at the clock again. We've 3.5 minutes plus the additional time to go, and it's Cratloe leading by 2-9 to 2-8. The old dogs for the long road, have they turned this one around? Or the young guns from Ennistymon Can they have a coming-of-age performance in these closing stages? That is the question to be asked, and the one we'll find out the answer to very shortly. Gerard Barry, he has the ball just left of the goal, back to Geiler once again, to Josh Vaughan. They're trying to work the shot, they're trying to work the opening, but Cratloe are defending that arc like their championship lives depends on it, because quite simply they do. Killian Rowine gets the call off the shoulder. Here comes Brindy from distance. It's a high looping dropping ball that stays out to the left and wide. It's still Cratloe by 1, and the clock says less than 3 to play.
Yeah, and a 12th wide of the game for Ennistymon, very frustrating. But they just haven't gone away from taking these pot shots from distance, and it's a little bit panicky, a little bit nervy, and maybe a little bit of inexperience. And really, I would have expected the message to come in from the bench to work the ball through the lines and be patient and maybe try and engineer a free, because they're just giving away possession.
Fergal Carroll is a very interested Werishka for Cratloe here on the sideline, just in front of us right now, but he is watching Keelan Geiler with the ball for Ennistymon, finds his brother Josh. Off to his left hand side is Derek Keneally. He cuts inside to make the space. Liam Markham tries to cover it. Now an opportunity for Keelan Geiler. Keelan Geiler hanging the ball high, but again out to the right hand side and wide, and there is a palpable sense of frustration building to my left hand side.
Yeah, I don't blame him, but it's just panicking in possession. There's where you had it on the other side when you had Kevin Hartnett and Podge dictating things to calm down and take the right options. You're not seeing that on the Ennistymon side. Maybe it's a little bit of inexperience.
Oh, kick out can't be taken there, can it? He's inside the arc. He kicked it back in himself, though, so the ball had gone out and he has been fouled. So quick thinking there from Kevin Hartnett. He had to play it back, though, because otherwise he couldn't have touched it. Mikey Brennan goes away with it, and again Hartnett is just issuing instructions here behind him. Good challenge put in there by the newly introduced Brian McNamara for the Ennistymon men. And then Podge now starts the direct operations. Brian McNamara has come on for Ennistymon. There's another sub coming on the far side of the ground here with the white Under Armour sleeves. We'll pick him up in just a moment. I think it's number 20, who would be Shawnee Keneally, initially listed to start. He comes back into the team. Off goes Keelan Geiler on this occasion. So Ennistymon know now they just have to throw the dice at this one. There's nothing other for it. It is 29 minutes on the clock, and Cratloe lead by a single point, 2-9 to 2 goals and 8.
Yeah, look at it. We're going down to the last minute now. You wouldn't have seen this coming, that Cratloe would be leading going into the straight, because Ennistymon have dominated possession in both halves, especially in the second half. But the amount of wides they've kicked, and look at, they're bursting through, and who better now than Killian Rowine? No
better man than Killian. If he can get that injection, he still gets through. Killian Rowine, he clips it goalwards. It is level pegging. That was all set up by the Rowine brothers. Derek Keneally was isolated here on the sideline ball. Nobody was moving for him. Eventually Brendy Rowine made the run, won a brilliant ball, great handling, offloaded it to Killian. He went through and clipped it over. Level pegging, 2-9 to 9 points.
Yeah, and Cratloe are living on the edge there on their own kickouts. That ball again, Kevin Hartnett was inside the arc, and what he did soccer style is he dummied it. He let it through his legs because he knew if he picked it up he was giving away a free. So but they're really, really struggling under their own kick-out now, Cratloe. But that class from Killian Rowine and showed real leadership.
Oh, Cratloe on an advantage. Mark O'Brien steaming forward. He's on the 21 metre line. He looks for Diarmuid Ryan. Diarmuid Ryan looks for into Boyce. He's right out on the edge of the D. He sells the dummy into Boyce, wide. Ball has gone to the right and wide, and Mark O'Brien was really reluctant to shoot there. He was actually looking for Diarmuid Ryan to come and take it off him instead of having the shot himself. The ball goes right and wide. We could be here for another while yet, lads.
Yeah, we're a minute into the injury time, and the board I didn't see yet how many injury time. 3 is it? So look, 2 minutes left. The next score, if anyone can get a score in this next 2 minutes, are going to win the game and progress their championship season.
Noel Sexton with the kick out for Ennistymon. Is it the most vital one of the evening? I would suggest it is. It's coming to the near side of the pitch. Up they go from Mike Brennan is the man that wins it for Cratloe. Mike Brennan tearing down this right hand side in towards Podge Collins. Very, very tight angle. Would he try a worldie from there? It would be if he can manage it. But Mike Brennan recycles it back to Diarmuid Ryan. Diarmuid Ryan to Enda Boyce. This is in last chance saloon territory. 31.5 minutes on the clock. We need to get to 33. Conal O'Hanlon goes through the centre, creating the space. It goes out towards Sean Collins, far side of the ground. Again, Cratloe just holding on to that ball, nice and patient. Rian Considine just trying to find a little bit of space to go through, can't. So gives it back to Enda Boyce across to Cathal McInerney, edge of the scoring arc to Conal O'Hanlon, the man in Ballygreen. airport operator director down there as he looks to find Mike Brennan. Again, it's just a real hush, isn't it? Everybody's waiting for how this attack will end, because it could well be the last one of the game. A clock check, 31:50. Podge Collins with the ball, wriggling and working his way through and kicking the ball goalwards, but putting it wide. It's gone to the left and wide. We might have one more opportunity, but I'd say that'll be about it.
Yeah, I think this next kick out is the most vital kick out of the whole game. Whoever secures possession here may get one opportunity. That was a good opportunity for Podge. I think it was the right thing to do to take on the shot. There wasn't a hell of a lot of movement for him. No one really wanted it, but this kick out is absolutely vital. Noel Sexton goes out to the right hand side, and it looks like
it's a bubbling ball. It's Killian Ryan, brilliant from Killian Ryan, gets away from the tackle, ball goes back to the ground. Dermot Ryan, it's picked up though by Derek Keneally around the 45. He threw the ball. The referee says he threw the ball. It's a free for Cratloe. 32:40 on the clock. Wherever you are, do not turn off your wireless Alexa or whatever it is you're having yourself, because this one is going into an added period, I've no doubt in my mind. Kevin Hartnett has the ball. He's behind his own 45-metre line. Rian McNamara goes to take it off him. They're working it through the hands. It's Liam Markham. He's up towards the 65-metre line. Looks behind him. It's a loose hand pass. Rian McNamara does well. He's fouled. And referee Chris Maguire has blown the full-time whistle, and we are off to Aumbrecha. We flagged it from a while out, Kieran. We said if Cratloe were in this game, coming down the home stretch, it would be a dangerous position for Ennistymon to leave them in, and in my opinion, leave them in it. They did, and I think paid the price. A game they should have won. They will go to extra time, but Cratloe, you just can never be rid of them.
No, you can't. You can never write off Cratloe. And that last 6-7 minutes, really, they looked like the team that were going to go on and win it. They created the chances. They weren't able to take them. They created the better chances from better positions. Ennistymon made a few opportunities, but they were shooting from very far out. Cratloe, yeah, they finished very strong. They'll be tired. They put in a big shift. Ennistymon, if I was in their management, I'd be delighted to get them into the dressing room and just figure out what was going on with all that crazy shooting there in that second half, because the amount of wides they had, they had the amount of possession to win the game, maybe by 3 or 4 points, but they took wrong decisions. It took a bit of leadership from Killian Ryan and Brindy there to create that last last opportunity to equalise, and they're going to need more of that in extra time, because Cratloe have the wiser heads there. You could see Podge, you can see Kevin Hart and Sean Collins. They're talking to other players, they're telling them, they're directing movements. Okay, they mightn't have the pace to burst them open like the Ennistymon do, but they have the experience, and that's going to count for a lot in extra time.
It certainly is. Well, one thing this has done anyway is made pure and total Prushuk of our schedule here on Clare FM for the evening. We were meant to have our main evening news, but right now we're going to just have to take a very, very quick break. Brian McLaughlin might keep you entertained there. We'll be back in around 10 minutes or thereabouts, I would imagine, for the extra time period, and we'll bring the game to its conclusion. When that happens, we'll go for a very, very suspio, maybe an Ishka break or two as well, but don't go anywhere. This one is right in the melting pot.
Set Right's Tavern, Cratloe, County Clare. Set Right's Tavern is an old-style, family-run, traditional pub with lots of character and a warm, friendly atmosphere in the old-style bar and snug area. FDC Group, Michael A. Nagel & Co. are an accounting firm based in County Clare. They go above and beyond to provide clients current and new with a personal service that is tailored to suit them. Whether you are starting a new business or expanding your current one, you can count on FTC Group, Michael A. Nagel & Co. Building or renovating in Clare? Put quality materials from Cullinans of Ennistymon at the heart of your home. Flare shower doors, Henley stoves, C-deck internal doors and mouldings, Roper Roads, batware and furniture. The better builder providers, Cullinans.ie. Telephone 065 707 1034. Air code V95AY10.
indeed, Brian. Well, look, it's never a problem coming to a place like Corofin. Gorgeous spot here in the heart of the Burren, but we're here a little bit longer than what we planned for this evening, and that's because this TUS Clare football quarter-final between Cratloe and Ennistymon has finished level 2 goals and 9 points each at full time, so extra time will now happen. New team sheets, a new TUS to decide who's playing which way, and all that goes with it as well, Kieran. It's all part of it, but I suppose it's what everybody wants to be doing, because it means your chance is still there.
Well, at this stage, both teams are still in the championship, and there's a couple of teams that, Kilmurray, Milltown and Breckens would gladly be in their position if they could. So, yeah, they still have an opportunity. There's 20 minutes that's going to decide this. It's going to be a big 20 minutes for both teams. And Cratloe, they'll feel they maybe had a couple of chances to maybe win the game at the end of normal time. And Ennistymon, for all the good football they played in the second half, they probably were hanging on a bit, but look, they'll have been delighted to get into the dressing room and put a new game plan together, because as you said, it's like a brand new game, new game plan. Everything that went before it now goes out the window, and it's all on this next 20 minutes.
One night I was at home watching Manchester United getting knocked out of the Champions League, and a good friend of mine texted me. He said, put on RTE1+1. He said, you're still in it. No sympathy whatsoever. Anyway, United in the Champions League, that'll tell you how long ago it was as well. Second half getting ready to go here in Corofin. Referee Chris Maguire just making sure everything is as it should be. Dermot Ryan versus Brindy Ruine will be the throw-in as the two teams line up to our left and right hand side respectively. Sean Collins trying to get that ball, but it is Derek Keneally bursting forward and on an advantage. It is Ennistymon attacking left to right as we look at it here, and gone on the bench, as we said. Sean Keneally had come in just at the end of that normal time period. Brian McNamara had done something similar as well. The two of them on the ball in this last couple of phases. Killian Irwine, the man that brought us here with that brilliant point. If you get a chance to watch it back later, it's a real show of leadership, bursting through the centre and clipping the ball between the posts. So do have a watch back of it if you can at all. Wearing the number 30 jersey, Sean Wren, the county hurler, sprung from the bench for this extra time period. He'll bring plenty pace and plenty energy indeed around it, and so too will the man on the ball right now, Seanie Rowan, just behind the 45 metre line. Conor O'Hanlon decided he was sick of stepping out. He was going to step forward, try and get the hand on the ball, but it didn't quite work out. So Liam Cotter is the man that will carry it forward past the 45 metre line to Seanie Rowan. Good hands to Sean Wren, back to Seanie Rowan once again. And what you will find with these extra time periods, they will absolutely fly. Just a minute gone already of this opening period. Right now it's Ennistymon still in possession. Here's Killian Irwine just outside the arc. If he manages from here, it will be an orange run, but it's very, very tidy. So Garrod Barry trying that backdoor cut run. It gets closed off, so they have to recycle it. Back to Sean Wren. Now he was standing right on the edge of the arc as he kicked that one, and it goes to the left and wide. There's been a couple of those, Kieran, from that channel, from that right flank today, that have been damn close inside. Now the umpires at the butt of the post will take his word from it, but they've been fairly tidy.
Yeah, I think the problem is that the players are kicking the ball so high that it's actually very, very hard to see. Even when you're behind the goals, the umpires are going back as far as they can, but it's very, very marginal. But they have to be sure, I suppose, and they have basically flagged most of those wide. And
I suppose if you're a player as well, you're watching the landing zone of the ball, and it curls so much behind the post that you're convinced it went over. So that kind of adds to your argument as well. Right now, adding to the thing is Seanie Rowan taking the ball forward. Killian's off to his right, Sean Wren is to his left. He's still holding on to the ball though. He's just inside the D. He's thinking about a shot. He has caught it well. He has caught it brilliantly. And that opportunity just seemed to open up for him, kind of almost out of surprise as much as anything. He was carrying the ball, then suddenly looked up and realised, here I am within scoring distance, and I put my team back in front, 2-10 to 2-9.
Yeah, he was kind of looking around to see who was going to come and support him. When there wasn't anyone there, he said he'd take it on himself, and a very, very good finish, and puts them back in front.
And they've gone after the kick out again, and they've won it. It's Brendan Irwine transfers it now to Liam Cotter. Owen Irwine was the man that was the initial hands on the ball, and he's just to the left hand side. It goes past him though to Sean Wren, who has really turned into quite a physical athlete out there, a real wrecking ball around that middle third for both hurling and indeed for football here as well. Right now it's Ennistymon trying to go off running with that ball once again and run through the middle from Liam Cotter, but it is Killian Irwine still going. Killian Irwine inside off the crossbar. Oh, hit the red spot on the crossbar and broke down as far as Tyglohan. Tyglohan carries it off for Cratloe to Connell Hanlon, trying to go by Brendan Irwine. What a rasper of a shot that was from Killian, as the ball is breaking the hands here now of Liam Markham. He looks up, takes the free quickly across to Dermot Ryan. Brilliant goal for him in that second half, lobbing it in there towards Cathal McInerney. Uses his strength, uses his guile, uses his left foot, and the ball goes to the right hand side and wide. But back to that goal chance. What a run from Killian, and what an unorthodox kind of a strike. Nobody was really expecting him to kick the ball. We thought another solo was coming. Suddenly the rasper came and just rattled the crossbar.
Yeah, Killian Ryan is devastating when he comes down through the centre, and when he's moving at pace, there's no stopping him. There was players left and right of him, and I suppose that's why he kind of kicked it straight on, kind of with the laces, and hit the crossbar. But he had no other option. He couldn't open his body to try and place the shot, so that was his only option, and rattled the crossbar. But then Cratloe win the ball, come out and attack, create a chance at the other end for Cathal McInerney. And Cathal, maybe that little bit of a layoff for the month maybe has just put the radar out a little bit, because it just drifted wide.
2-10 to 2-9 Ennistymon lead with 4 minutes played in the second half here, or the first half I should say, of the extra time period. Liam Cotter with the ball, gives it outside to his right hand side, that's Joshua Geiler. Conla Hanlon in front of him, Liam Markham beside him, and so too here is Mark O'Brien wearing the number 7 jersey. Ball in the hands of Sean Rinn, gets the call behind him from Joey Rewine, vastly experienced player. Down the line it goes towards Owen Rewine, back into the hands of Liam Cotter once again. Ennistymon just controlling operations right now across to Brendan Rewine. He spreads it out to the left hand side. Cratloe happy enough to sit back at the moment, and of course with the fact that Ennistymon are in front, they don't really need to force the issue. They're just holding on to it, and Derek Keneally does that just now, and now it becomes that keep ball scenario, which they are very, very good at, as we know. 5 minutes gone in this extra time period, 2-10 to 2-9. Future Proof Energy, our commentary sponsors. Ball breaking around inside, into Boyce, goes after it. It would go out over the end line. Umpire's having a right look at it. Boyce is as well cleverly just kicks it there off the shins of Shawnee Keneally. Kick out for Cratloe, who need to go chasing.
Yeah, that was very smart from Enda Boyce, the way he engineered a kick out. He kicked it off him. But it's kind of started the same as the first and the second half started. That Ennistymon have been in control of possession, doing a lot of hard running, creating chances, but not taking the scores.
And they have won a free now this time, and they decide to opt with the solo and go down that far side of the pitch, trying to hold on to it again. Cratloe though back there in numbers. That's Sean Collins taking it forward. Liam Markham provides the outlet on that right hand channel. Off they go with Tyglohan taking it down the right hand side. Referee indicates that's going to be a free, and for something that was said, he's bringing it in. I think it's from the sideline. In fact, he pointed out towards the sideline and said, yeah, that's exactly who he was talking about. Some bit of dissent out there from the North Clare men, and it's going to be a free in for Cathal McInerney, and it is. He's going to bring it right inside. He's not going to chance it from the 2-point arc. He's going to bring it in as far as we can go, which is into the 21, and just level the game up. I think that's clever. I think
that's a very smart thing to do, and there's no excuse for your sideline costing you a free. It's one thing if a player does something stupid on the pitch or gives a bit of dissent, but if your sideline costs you a free, they're basically costing leveling the game there now. And Cathal McInerney did exactly the right thing, because down at this end of the field the 2-pointers aren't really on. If it was at the other end, I'm sure he would have had a go at it, but levels the game, it does level the game, and they'll be happy with that playing into the breeze in this first half of extra time, and obviously the scoring goals to come in the second half.
3.5 to go to the break in extra time, and we're still no closer to finding a winner. We do know who has possession though. It's Enda Boyce. Brilliant take from the kick out down to Sean Collins. Dermot Ryan goes for a gander down the far right hand side of the pitch, bounces the ball down in front of him, looks around of course trying to play it inside towards Podge, tries to create that separation. Podge Collins digs it over, it goes wide. It was clever, it was ingenuity, it's what we expect from Podge, but the little clever play there, Kieran, he just actually used the momentum of the defender, pushed him out to give himself the separation, just couldn't clip it over Noel Sexton, because in fairness to Noel, came out well, closed down the angle brilliantly.
Yeah, he did. Great experience there from Podge. Used the weight of the player against him, and just got a little nudge in him, nothing in it, but got a little flick, thought he was going to lob the keeper, but Noel Sexton did very, very well, gave him no angle to shoot at, and he's got his kick out away now, but Cratloe turned it over again.
Yeah, Conla Hanlon got up the big paw there to break it down, and it's Sean Collins that takes it off down in front of that Ennistymon dugout, and Conla Hanlon was fouled there coming out by Joey Irwine, so we are playing on an advantage. It's played in towards Jamie Moylan, fronting ball really well, needs a runner off the shoulder, he gets it, none other than Cathal McInerney. Cahill's ball is high, it's accurate, and Cratloe lead, and all that goes back to fantastic work by Conal O'Hanlon. But great fronting again from Jamie Moylan inside on the edge of the square, and who better than McInerney to take the ball, stick it over, and Cratloe lead 2-11 to 2-10.
Yeah, that was brilliant from Cratloe. Conor Hanlon did excellent, but they had the free, the hand was up, so they had the advantage. Podge put the ball across the square to Jamie Moylan, and Cahill coming off the shoulder and finished it expertly, but they also knew that they had the safety net of the free if it didn't work out, and that's how you use the advantage.
Yellow card there for Joy Rowan, but of course the new rule means that any cards that were in normal time have carried over as well. Now, we haven't seen too many of them, to be fair. It's been an open, free-flowing, hard-hitting, fair game, no question. But right now, Cratloe lead 2-11 to 2-10. We've 8.5 gone in the first period of the extra time. Liam Markham winning that kick out, giving it back here to Mark O'Brien, to Irene Constantine rather, back to Conor Hanlon just behind his own 65-metre line. Kevin Hartnett directs and says, you stay, I'm going. And here it goes to Ty Glohan. He was on one wing a while ago, goes into contact now with Liam Cotter and does really well to win his free. Did intense the contact, did well to come out of it, in fairness to him. And Podge takes the free quickly. Tareen Constantine, he just needs a bit of pace coming through the middle. It comes through Conor Hanlon. Big, long, awkward start. It's very hard to manage him. That's a kick from Sean Collins, and that's a 2-point lead for Cratloe. And no more than Ennistymon going after that Cratloe kick out. Now they've turned the tables on it. 2-12 to 2-10. They've gone 2 clear, and we are 1 minute to go to half time.
Yeah, and Conor Hanlon's made a massive difference after coming on. You know, Diarmuid Ryan was fighting a lone battle out there for a good while, but now Conor Hanlon has stepped in, and he's going up after this one as well. He's targeting every kick out.
Kevin Hartnett read that like a book. I don't know, would you get it in any library, but he read it brilliantly to Cathal McInerney down the line towards Podge Collins. He fronts that ball in front of Joey Irwine, who's on a yellow. He needs to be careful, and Cratloe lead by 3. This has been a purple patch of the highest order for the South East Fairmen. Remember, they are recent champions. They know how to win titles. 2-13 to 2-10. That's a big lead in extra time.
It is, and you know what it shows is the value of your own kick out. In this time they've lost the last 3 of their own kick outs, and Cratloe have got 3 points from it. And you know, possession is vital from kick outs, and look at, they finished the half 3 points on top.
Just try and sum that up for us, Kieran. It was 2-9 apiece at full time, 4-1 now in this extra time period. Like it's some scoring burst in 10 minutes.
Yeah, it is, and the funny thing is, it is. But the first 6 minutes, it was all Ennistymon. You know, they created chances. They had a couple of wides. They kicked the first point, a very good point from Sean Rowan. But since then, the last 3, once they got one ball up the field, they haven't let Ennistymon back down the field. They've totally dominated the Ennistymon kick out for the last 3 or 4 kick outs, and Cratloe don't waste too many chances. Okay, they had one wide from Cahill, but everything else, they've kicked 3 points in a row, and into that win, that's very, very good shooting, because it's very, very hard to score down at that end, and now they have the elements to come. But look, I wouldn't rule out another burst from Ennistymon. This game has kind of ebbed and flowed, and everyone gets a period of dominance, and it's whether you can take advantage of it and make scores when you get that period. Cratloe certainly did that, and Ennistymon will be looking to do something similar now to start of the second half.
Just to check in on other codes, and rather unsurprisingly, Manchester Derby City 3, United 0 is a latest score on that one. Liverpool with a 95th minute penalty from Salah to beat Burnley earlier on this afternoon. So if you're an Ennistymon Manchester United fan right now, things aren't looking great.
They're probably not, but as you said, maybe they can watch it back in the +1 and they'll be in the game a bit longer.
Cratloe look really, really united down there now, don't they?
Yeah, they do. They're all in it together, and look, no better man inside leading that huddle than Colm Collins, because you can imagine what he's telling those players, and he'll be instilling belief in them and telling them that they're the best team in the county, and that there's no better team to see out a game than them. And that's the thing about them. You can never cry Cratloe off, even when you think you've them beaten. They never give up. And look, you can't beat experience. The leaders on the field have stood up today. The Kevin Hartnetts, the Liam Markham, Sean and Podge Collins, they've all stood up. But some of the other players, like in the boys, the lesser heralded players, have been excellent today. And Conor Hanlon coming in, he's only on a short while, but he's had a massive influence in the game so far.
Ennistymon in their huddle as well, just to the left hand side of the goalpost as you're watching on our Clare GA TV stream, which of course is supported by Zimmer Biomet for this championship season. And what a championship season it has been as well for the both codes indeed. Of course, with the semi-finals of the hurling to come next weekend. 2 cracking games there. Rogue and Kilmaley, and of course Ballier and Clooney Quinn as well. But right now, but again, Kieran, okay, 3 points in extra time. Yeah, it's a big lead, but it is just a kick of a ball.
Oh, it is, and you can imagine that Ennistymon will be looking to get Killian, Ryan and Brindy on the ball as much as possible. And the one area that Cratloe really struggled with today is when Killian is bore down and goal through the middle. They haven't been able to stop him. He's just devastating when he goes through the middle, and he will create openings. As long as Ennistymon can try and be a little bit patient and create a couple of chances, they're still well in this game and still have a great chance of winning it, but they can't be doing the shooting from 40 yards from crazy positions. They have to try and work the openings and just play smarter, and the chances will come, and they have the players to take those chances, but just don't take on the crazy decisions.
So, second half of the extra time period about to get back underway as we all reset the watches, as does Chris Maguire, no doubt, as well. And as we do, Future Proof Energy, our commentary sponsors. We also have our Patrick Burke menswear man of the match selection here, and you can be thinking about that for the next couple of minutes as well. Live contenders either side, and I'd say we're still right down the throat of trying to find out who's going to actually win this game, as we watch Colin O'Hanlon here on this near side of the pitch about to make his run in from behind the two midfielders, who are Diarmuid Ryan and Brindy. Ball is in, and second half of this extra time period back underway. Final 10 minutes of the Championship 2025 for either Cratloe or Ennistymon. It's Ennistymon who need to go searching for scores, and they're doing that right now. Sean Rowine, a dipping effort that just about gets over the crossbar. That really could have gone anywhere. It was one of those that just died a death at the right time. It just crept over the bar, nearly met the top left-hand corner. Good score for Ennistymon as the crowd rises to greet it.
Yeah, great start for them, and Sean Ryan did that at the start of the first half of extra time as well. That's what Ennistymon needed. They needed to get a good start to give them a bit of belief that they can see this. Now what they want to do is try and put Warwick Chaplin's kick out under serious pressure and gain some momentum of their own.
This time he does try to bang it down the middle. It holds up high though, doesn't it? And Killian Ryan inside underneath the break. So too there now, he's the man who's going to take it on. Killian going through to the D, going through, still on an advantage. He's still going. Killian Ryan off to his left hand side. It goes across goal. No, square ball. Square ball is the call from Chris Maguire. It was Sean Keneally got the final touch on it. It was Joshua Geiler that played it all the way across. They're absolutely apoplectic in the stand, on the field and on the sideline over that decision. It's going to be a free in, says Chris Maguire. It was a square ball, it's his decision now. Look at, he was very close. It's a difficult square to decipher because there's part of it kind of that Astro stuff, and I'm not quite sure where the line and the grass actually is on it, but the umpires were fairly adamant about it in the first place. So it is going to be a free in. It will be a chance for Brindy to bring it back to a 1 point game. He'll float that ball in, and that's exactly what has happened. Ball goes over. It's back to a 1 point game. Another big moment in a game that has given us a lot.
Yeah, it's a crazy game this, really, to be honest with you. It looked like it was a borderline. It was very, very close to the line. Again, Killian Ryan running at them, and they weren't able to stop him, and the ball broke and came across the square. But look, the one thing Ennistymon can say is at least they got something out of it. Yeah. You know, if it was a free out and they got nothing out of it, that would be fairly hurtful to them. But they got the point. They're back to within 1 point, and there's only over 2 minutes played, so they've 2 points got in 2 minutes. And now they're targeting the kick out from Cratloe.
Why not target Diarmuid Ryan when he can do that brilliant leap from the big man? Back it goes to Colin McInerney. He takes it forward. Liam Markham goes to the ground, gets the ball away. Sean Collins gets boot to ball, gets swallowed up by a whole host of black jerseys out there, illegally so, says Chris Maguire. And again, just the sideline need to watch themselves here, because if Chris sees or hears some of the gestures, he'll be bringing the ball up in front of the post as he did in that second half. So they got away with one there, but right now it is Mark O'Brien taking the ball down the far side of the pitch to Podge Collins. Cratloe 2:13, Ennistymon 2:12. 3 minutes gone of the second period of extra time in this senior football quarter final. Ball threaded through. Killian Ryan did brilliantly to read that one ahead of Rian Constantine. Got his hands to it. Looks to have picked up a little bit of a knock in the process, but it was a timely intervention. It was a beautiful threaded ball in from Colin McInerney. But as he has done all day, in fairness to Killian Ryan, put his body on the line, read the ball, went in and got it. Just took a little bit of a knock as he did, somewhere around the ribs, I'd say, and he'll take his time to get back to his feet. But what a game he's had.
Killian Ryan's been outstanding. You know, he's really stood up for Ennistymon when people were making wrong decisions and things like that. He's had an excellent game. He's had an excellent championship so far. And look, he's up one end creating a score, and then he's down the other end stopping a score for Cratloe. And that's the type of performance he's given. He's up and down the field all day, and hopefully he's okay to continue, because it would be a shame now to see him not finish this game.
Yeah, and it would be a massive blow from an Ennistymon perspective, but given the warrior blood that's in the Rowines, there's going to be no fear of that as he comes out to resume his place, and a nice sporting gesture as well as himself and Rian Constantine just kind of clap gloves as much as to say that happens in the game, and both of them acknowledge that they've played enough of it. Noel Sexton takes the free for Ennistymon, and it's a long, high, searching ball dropping down on top of Sean Rowine. It's picked up though by Liam Cotter, trying to storm through the centre. Runner off the shoulder is Sean Rinn, pops it over the top instead. Too much on it, way too much on it there as he tried to find Darren McNamara inside the edge of the square. That was a big opportunity to just level up the game. They might have another one though. Brindy Rowine takes it far side of the pitch. Ennistymon still with the numbers over, trying to commit that body to the attack is Sean Rowine. It's going to be a line ball, and in a game of inches, in a game of adrenaline, that was one.
Yeah, it was a goal chance. You could see what was on his mind. You can't fault him. Like he just got a small bit too much on the pass, and it fell to Pádraig Chaplin. But look, they still have an opportunity to take something from the attack.
Yeah, back into Darren McNamara. Off it comes towards Sean Rinn. Can he level it? He can't. That's a really, really tidy score from Sean Rinn off his left boot. Great set-up play from the two McNamaras. Killian Rowine is still visibly hurt out there. He's just holding the ribs at the moment, but he's not going to go off without a fight. 5 minutes gone in the second period. 5 minutes of this game left, and it's still level.
Yeah, and both teams have played better against the elements and got better scores against the elements, which is very, very surprising. But that's great fight from Ennistymon, and Pádraig Chaplin's in trouble here with his kick out.
Yeah, he just lost his footing, didn't he? But Kevin Hartnett just stepped out to that far touchline and said, give it to me, let's get you out of bother. But Kevin turning and twisting and going this way and every way, trying to get around. How has he still got that ball? He has it released now back to Liam Markham. He's being challenged there by Garrod Barry. It's over there. Mike Brennan takes it on. Very, very close. He's on in line though. This is high stakes poker stuff for Cratloe, and eventually they get the out ball. Hurt over on the far side there is Owen Rowine for Ennistymon. Taking the ball forward for Cratloe right now was Mark O'Brien, trying to find Ty Glohan, put way too much sky on that. Out over the sideline it goes. 6 minutes played of the second half, 4 to go, still level.
Yeah, it's anyone's game. You just couldn't call it. You think Cratloe were in the driving seat there at half time and extra time, but you also knew that Ennistymon would come back at them. And right now, 4 minutes to go, level scores. You just couldn't call it because every team has seemed to get in a little bit of period of dominance, and it's just who's making the most of it. And so far in the second half extra time, Ennistymon are on top, but 3 or 4 minutes anything can happen.
Owen Rowine has had to leave the field over on the far side of the pitch with an injury there, so he won't see out these last couple of moments. Ennistymon now goes searching down the far side. That is Sean Rinn. He got the leveller just a couple of moments ago, playing the ball into the corner to McNamara. Back to Sean Rinn once again. The Ennistymon bench has certainly had its impact, there's no question about that. Josh Bohan just hanging back here around the 45 metre line. Liam Cotter comes to take on that ball right now. It is Brian McNamara is the man that's going to take it. We saw a virtuoso performance from his namesake for Clare last night as they beat Kilrush in the Intermediate Championship. Now Ennistymon go looking for the winner, perhaps from Garrod Barry. That is very, very close, just to the right and wide. It was hanging 95% of its journey. It was there, then it just went outside the post for still level.
Yeah, 15 wide of the game for Ennistymon. You know, they will be frustrated with that, but look, it was a chance. You couldn't begrudge him having the shot, and you have to maybe blame the elements there more so than anything else.
Kick out from Pádraig Chaplin, drops on the 65 metre line onto the hands of Sean Collins. Instead it's taken on by Conal O'Hanlon. Now there's a real sense of urgency from a Cratloe perspective to Cathal McInerney. Kieran McMahon, what a brilliant tackle. He's a class player for Sporting Ennistymon, and he used his soccer skills there. Brilliant from Murty. Down the line it comes to Sean Rinn, to Killian Rowine. He's on this left hand channel. The clock is really running out now. 2.5 minutes left to go. Ball kicked in. Ball kicked by Shawnee Rowine. Lost his footing as he did, cramping up as well. In fairness, he's put in some shift. That ball just goes left and wide. We're still level.
That was an absolutely fantastic tackle by Kieran McMahon. You know, he's had a brilliant game today. He's marking the Cratloe's talisman in Cathal McInerney, and he's done a brilliant job on him. He's marked marquee forwards all throughout the championship and had a very good championship.
Ennistymon are swarming in around this breaking ball now on the kick out. Darren McNamara, the man that did the work on that last occasion. They go searching down that right hand channel once again with the breeze though. You imagine the kicking part of the ground is probably over here to our left, so that's where they're trying to work it around. Josh Vaughan just being that link ball. Across it comes to Brendy Rowine. Little bit of time and space here now for Brian McNamara. sells the dummy, tries to go through, was his hand pulled back, referee says play away, and on we go. There's nothing being given handy here by Chris Maguire. In fairness to him, he has been very good and very consistent right throughout this game. Liam Markham goes trying to take on Sean Rowine, gets just forced back around. Let's check the watch. We've 1 minute of the second half of extra time to go. Dare I say the word that we saw Cratloe beating Éire by a couple of years ago. That was a semi-final in Páirc Uí on that occasion. The old kick Erica, are we on the cards for it?
Yeah, and Ennistymon have experience of penalties as well. They beat Kilmurray in a semi-final on penalties as well. Look, you'd be hoping not. You'd be hoping that we might get a moment of magic from one of the star players on either team to win the game in normal time. You don't want to see it go to penalties. But look, if anyone can engineer a score in this next half a minute, it's going to win the game from.
And right now, it's Cratloe in pole position to do that, and I say they just give the ball away, and Liam Cotter has it through to Sean Rinn. Oh, Kevin Hartnett, that was class. Just read that ball and got Cratloe off on the attack again. Podge Collins digs the ball out to the left hand side. It's to Sean Collins, a little slip in front of him. Sean Collins to Cathal McInerney back to Sean Collins to Podge Collins is through. The ball is over the bar. Oh, that took an age to get up there. It took an age to come down, but when it did, it was between the posts. The Collins brothers and young McInerney, how often have they done it?
Yeah, and it all started from Kevin Hartnett winning the ball back in his own half. That was absolutely magic. When the ball came to Cathal McInerney, you thought he's winding up for the left foot, but Ennistymon have won the kick out now, and they're going to have one last chance.
Exceptional catch from Sean Rowine. Plays the ball into the corner. That's Darren McNamara. Can he get the outside of the boot? Oh, it's gone wide. It's gone to the left and wide, and once again, unfortunately for Ennistymon, you're left asking the same questions, Kieran, in terms of shooting efficiency and option taking.
Yeah, look, they're going to have a lot of regrets if the game finishes against them, because, you know, the shooting options have been very, very poor, and they've taken some crazy decisions. That was one opportunity that they could have worked to try and even engineer a free to get the equaliser and bring it to penalties. But look, go back to that winner from Podge. That was all the experience in the world, and Pádraig Chaplin kicks it out.
Yeah, and I think because of the length of time he took, we're going to have one more play. But Cratloe, have they won the ball? They're just driving it forward. Anywhere will do. Jamie Moylan chases. The full-time whistle goes. What an incredible afternoon and evening we have had here in Corofin. What a game we have witnessed. And when it all settles down after extra time, Podge Collins has won the game. Cratloe 2-14, Ennistymon 2-13. The story of this game, Kieran, will take a lot of strands in the telling.
You know, it was a great game, Derek. Very, very, very enjoyable. Not the highest scoring game in the world, and the conditions played a factor in that, but there was good football. Great battles all over the field. Kieran McMahon marking Cathal McInerney was a brilliant battle at one end. The performance of Cillian Rowine gave for Ennistymon was superb, and Brendy as well, very, very good. But you can never write off Cratloe. They never die. You know, they go to the final whistle. They've leaders all over the field. Kevin Hartnett gave an exhibition today. I thought he was fantastic. Liam Markham was excellent. As we said, when Colin O'Hanlon, when he came on, was very, very good. Cathal McInerney, while definitely not operating at full fitness, was excellent and showed all his experience. And that pass that he gave to set up the score for Podge, he gave it to Sean and went into Podge. And Podge, look, I think for a second he thought, I'm going to go for a goal here. But he just... something snapped and he said, I'll put this over the bar, and it turned out to be the winning score, and it puts him into the county semi-final.
Right, let's run through the contenders then. We have Lissie Casey, Éire, Dura Bearfield and Cratloe. We're going to have the draw in a couple of minutes time, so we'll hold fire and maybe picking favourites and all the rest of it, but we're going to have to hand up. We're on a lot longer than we should have been. Before we do, look, here in one job to do, your Patrick Burke men's man of the match.
I think the man of the match for me today had to be Kevin Hartnett. I thought he showed unbelievable leadership, and the winning score, if you only take that into account, he's the man that turned over the ball and started that attack, and he did it all day. When things weren't going well for Cratloe, he showed leadership. He gave players a bit of a rollicking at times when they needed it, and he carried ball out, and look at he just gave a fantastic display today, and he's my man of the match.
The Dalai Lama himself has masterminded another victory here for Cratloe as they go into the county semi-finals, draw as we say, to take place very very shortly, 2:14 to 2:13 after extra time. My thanks here to Kieran on analysis, to Brian and all our gang back at base, to our commentary sponsors who are Future Proof Energy and Patrick Port Menswear for his kind sponsorship of our Man of the Match selection. Also the Clare GATV and Stream Sports crew as well. Delighted to be linking up with them here in 2025. That's it from Park Fennia, but stay tuned. The draw for the semi-finals on shortly. We'll bring you details of those on our social media as we eventually hand back to studio.
Set Right's Tavern, Cratloe, County Clare. Set Right's Tavern is an old-style, family-run, traditional pub with lots of character and a warm, friendly atmosphere in the old-style bar and snug area. FDC Group, Michael A. Nagel & Co. are an accounting firm based in County Clare. They go above and beyond to provide clients current and new with a personal service that is tailored to suit them. Whether you are starting a new business or expanding your current one, you can count on FDC Group, Michael A. Nagel & Co. Building or renovating in Clare? Put quality materials from Cullinans of Ennistymon at the heart of your home. Flare shower doors, Henley stoves, C-deck internal doors and mouldings, Roper Roads, batware and furniture. The better builder providers, Cullinans.ie. Telephone 065 707 1034. Air code V95AY10.
back here to Park Finneagh, where I'm delighted to have Cratloe manager Colm Collins. Colm, we were here a little bit longer than we might have been thinking, but I suppose worth it when you come out a 1 point winner.
Yeah, I suppose to come out the right side of a battle like that is great. I mean, it's great for the winners. My hat goes out in this time, and it was a tough one to lose, but delighted with our lads and the way they dug it out again.
Yeah, again, I mean, there's no end to them.
Yeah, we've dug out a couple of hard results in the group stages, and came again today, and they're just an amazing bunch of lads, and credit to them, real credit to them.
The manner, I suppose, in which you had to dig deep like that, it was a difficult conditions in terms of coming out here, tight pitch, all the rest of it, but that experience, just tell me how important all that was.
Yeah, first of all, compliments to Corofin for the pitch. The pitch was absolutely perfect. So, there was no excuse there. Conditions were tough. There was a breeze across the pitch. The scores were hard to come by. I thought our lads were a bit more efficient in that respect, and their shot selection was good. So that we weren't too wasteful in that area. But it was a battle. Like I used to say a long time ago. When you lose a 1 point game, you can blame the bus driver. It's down to all little things. Like there were serious moments in that game where it could have swung the other way, and as I said, my heart goes out to Ennistymon because some of them have played. Killian Rowan has been outstanding this year in the championship. He's been brilliant, and he drew it in full time, and it was the 1 second we took our eye off him, and he was bang in, got the score. Brendy same way. The two of them have been excellent, and Sean as well. So that tough on them, but as I say, that's sport.
You've blooded through a lot of young lads, but it was your old stagers, Colm, that engineered that final score. What an interception by Kevin. He was our man of the match. Through to Sean, to Podge, to Cahill, all the names we've spoken about for the last 10 years or more.
Yeah, to be fair, these fellas have done it before for us, and they've shown their character many times before, and then today again, they rose to the occasion, and when it was there to be won, they went and did it, and I have massive admiration for them, and they've been a pleasure to deal with from being involved with them point of view, and thank everybody involved, Brian Carson's coach and there, Brian O'Connell, everybody that's with us, Paul Sullivan, Jody, all these, Sean O'Dea, all these lads in the backroom team that make it so that makes things so easy for us, and we've got a brilliant backroom team and everybody doing their thing and giving us the best chance we can to win.
In the next couple of minutes, your semi-final opponents as well, but whether it's still 2 more weeks of training, 2 more weeks of roaring at them?
It's 2 more weeks of football, and that's all good. And as I said, whoever we get. It's great to be looking forward to the semi-final.
Fantastic. Well, Colin, thanks for taking the time to have a chat with us, and your semi-final draw will be along very, very shortly here in Park Finneagh.
Well, welcome to Park Finn in Corofin, live here on Clare GA TV for the Senior Football Championship draws. In terms of weather, it was a washout of a weekend in the Banner County, but it's going to take a lot more than the rain to dampen the spirits in Cratloe and St. Joseph's Bearfield. I can tell you this afternoon, both won through in their ties today against Ennistymon and Kilmurry-Bricken, respectively, to join yesterday's winners, Aerogue and Lissy Casey, in the pot for the TUS Senior Football Championship draw. In the Intermediate Football Championship, which has been a fantastic championship to date, I suppose the headlines will belong to Clare, who overturned a fancy Kilrush Sharnocks yesterday. They joined the Banner, who won this evening, Clondegad and Corofin in that draw. More of those two draws anon, and elsewhere, of course, in the Junior Football Championship in the pot, we have Kilfenora, Kilmurry-Bricken, Killimer and Lissy Casey. The weather might have done its favours for us this weekend, Kieran, but we're just after witnessing a pulsating match here in Park Finn. So very good fair of football despite the conditions.
Very good indeed, Aaron. Yeah, good game. Obviously went to extra time and only kick a single point in it at the end. Yeah, and an enthralling contest in the park today as well, and a couple of games yesterday, of course. So yeah, we've had some good football, intermediate as well. A couple of crackers of games over the weekend. So yeah, looking forward now to seeing who gets who in the pairings from here.
And I'm sure everybody else is here. There's a storm, there's a yellow storm warning on the way. There's a crowd gathered around here in the stand in Corofin, so we'll relieve them of the tension. But we're going to start with the Martin Murphy Building and Civil Contractors Limited Junior A football draw first. So like I said, the four teams in this are Killimer, Kilfenora, Kilmurry-Bricken and Lissy Casey. So take it away, Kieran. First team out of the hat will play the second team, and the third team will play the fourth team. Kilfenora. Just up the road here, and their opposition in the Junior A semi-final will be Killimer. Okay. Kilfenora versus Killimer. North Clare against West Clare opposition. And in the second semi-final, first team out, Kilmurry-Bricken, carrying the flag and the hopes for their club after their seniors bowed out of the TUS Senior Championship today. And of course their opposition should be and is Lissy Casey. Okay, so that completes the... Yep, that completes the Martin Murphy Building and Civil Contractors Junior A Championship draw. We're going to go to the Intermediate Championship next. Okay, like I said, the four teams in this are the Banner, who won this evening quite comprehensively for a finish against Coolmean, Clare, who will grab the headlines over the weekend, Corofin, who had a strong win against Shannon Gales, and Clondegad as well. So the first team out will play the second team, and it is Banner. Okay, Banner GA, first team out. Kicked 21 points today in adverse conditions, so going in the right direction, the Banner. They'll fancy their chances, and they will have to overcome the challenge of Clare. Okay, the young guns from Clare, who had that excellent win yesterday. And that should leave in the second semi-final Clondegad, hoping for a return to senior ranks in Clare football. And Clondegad should be playing Corofin, and indeed they are. Okay, so mouth-watering ties there in what has been a great championship so far. So, for the Cratloe folk remaining here in Park Finn in Corofin, this is the big one. The TUS Senior Football Championship draw. Anything goes. We actually have three teams in the semi-final pot that started out the season of championship in the same group. But anything goes, like I say, and we can have repeat pairings. So the first team out, and it's your winners from just a half an hour ago after extra time against Ennistymon, Cratloe. And their opposition in the semi-final will be St. Joseph's Bearfield. There's oohs and ahs around Park Finn. So Cratloe against St. Joseph's Bearfield have already met, where Cratloe recorded a 1-point win in the group stages, and that leaves Lissy Casey winners on Saturday against St. Brecken's by 217 to 14 points back in Clare, and they will take on reigning Jack Daly champions Aerogue of Ennis. Okay. So, Shinnon made, that completes it. They are the second last draws that we'll be doing this year. We'll have Premier Intermediate and Intermediate draws in the hurling championships coming up. But from now on, it'll look after itself because the opposition know who they're playing to qualify for the coveted county finals in junior, intermediate and senior football. So, until we meet again, from all of us here in Clare GA TV, thanks a million indeed to Corofin GA Club for hosting us. Thanks a million to Assistant Secretary Deirdre Chaplin, who's done all the work in the background, County Board Chairman Kieran Keaton, and all the teams for a pulsating weekend of football. We'll see you again soon.